Hey everybody, welcome to Go Live. This is it. This is the show we've been talking about for weeks, and it's finally happened. We are less than 24 hours away from the biggest event of the year, biggest gaming event of the year. We finally get to see Xbox show its wares at E3 2021, and what a better panel than these guys. Look at this. This is the quintessential, the creme of de la creme of the Xbox community, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce the sexy guest from RDX, let me just introduce the co-founder and co-host who, apologies, messed up the last stream, but he also keeps it going, so I can't get annoyed at him. Asa, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm really good. It's E3, right? It's exciting time, and we've got good guests today for good conversation. Guys, your mic is peaking. If you want to just turn that little dial a tiny little bit, it might sound a bit better for everybody listening. But go on, give it a go. Try not to shout.
Okay, I'm trying not to shout.
Try not to shout.
How is this? Sorry, people on Spotify. I'm on the radio. This is the radio. Tell me if sound check, everyone. Let me know if it's too loud. Yes, oh man. Look, I see the animation. That looks so cool. Well, might as well start off with a good friend who is the only person who we allow to not come on camera because he was the first person ever to support us before GameOnDaily was just a tiny sperm cell in the podcasting scene and in the YouTube space. Dealer took that sperm cell and put it in his ovaries. I don't know what I was going to do with that one.
Yeah, but, it ain't mine, Mari.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a massive support of the Xbox community, one of the biggest Xbox influencers, even though he hates that word, in the world. The Joe Rogan of Xbox podcasts, the proprietor of RDX. Oh, wait, I'm RDX. It's behind me. I was supposed to wear that. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dealer Gaming. What are you saying, bros?
Hi. Hey, everybody! Thanks for coming out and thanks for checking out the stream. And I pushed the website early on because it's quality stuff. So if you guys haven't gone to the site, there's a lot of you. Then consider checking it out. Hit subscribe, hit like as we talk about the latest stuff going on with E3, Ubisoft. Those French fucks got some good stuff for us. Yeah, how you like that, huh? That's what you get for having me on. I'm gonna say some weird shit. Yeah? How you feel?
Wow, Gaz is beating you for weird shit.
Look at them. They're all look at them. All these corporate shields. They're all scared of that. But you know what? Hey, we're gonna have a good show. And thanks for having me, Gaz.
Yeah, no.
Look at you, he's embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed. That was a terrible show. I'll be honest with you.
Was it?
It was horrible.
Oh, we're gonna get into that, right?
Yeah, we are going to get into that. It was pretty bad. But the source is coming tomorrow. Joining us again is all of you gents are at the top, and you've graced us with your presence, even though we've only just begun, and we're eternally grateful. Honestly, we definitely are. And this gentleman, his voice has enough bass to destroy nations. Ladies and gentlemen, he is one of my favorite content creators out there. Very unique take on content creation as well. And looking sexy in his studio. Jay Fonzarelli, what you saying, man?
Hello. How's it going?
Well, what's going on with your voices today?
I don't know. What's up, everybody? It's good to be here. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about E3, and let's just get this started, man.
Yeah, man. It's going to be sauce. Last but certainly not least, Cole Eastwood, the most prominent Xbox influencer out there who has an army of haters because he just kills them with kindness, ladies and gentlemen. The proprietor of XNC, the man who's going to be in Hollywood soon. Cole, how are you doing, man?
Game on Daily.
Yeah, I love that. That's the only person who has that shirt, by the way. We don't have that shirt.
A big fan of the show. We're all friends, and like this is the moment we waited for all year. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Thanks for having me on the show. Got my best friends Fonz and Dealer here. We're always playing games and talking trash to each other, so it should be really fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely will be. We've already got super chats already, and Danimus says, "Is it just me, or does E3 feel more like Christmas than Christmas itself when you get older?" Awesome panel, and love the show. Thank you so much for the super chat and for the support. And you're right, the panel is sores. Look at these guys, and you're right, man. I am way more hyped for E3 than Christmas because I usually get crap presents to no presents. But this is the game is Christmas or Eid or Hanukkah or whatever you want to call it, whatever you celebrate. This is it. This is our moment to shine. So yeah, absolutely. Dodge Knight, thank you so much, man, for the £5 super chat. Ubisoft wasting an hour of everyone's time. Set that bar nice and low for Xbox. Great to see the RDX guys on the show. Hashtag Xbox has no games. What a troll.
Indeed.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Dodge. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, my hay fever is killing me as well. But yeah, shout out. We've already got 200 people on the show. Hit that like button. We're going to get saucy into E3 hype. E3 hype. And it's finally here. I've been ranting on about it. We've all been ranting on about it. And is it just me? Let me ask Skeletor, Dealer. Is it just me, or is the hype level really high this year? Uncharacteristically so. A lot more than last year, despite the fact that that was the launch year for the Xbox Series X. I'm feeling energy. Are you feeling energy?
I mean, it's weird how this energy popped up randomly after everyone's like, don't have any energy.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true, isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they've heard us say, hey, don't play it safe. We've been waiting for games. It's time to show. I'm still waiting on what I didn't see that you were excited that you didn't show 2 years ago. So I think they heard us say that stuff, and I think they heard the community stand up, and they want to see some stuff. So maybe they made some adjustments. Maybe they didn't, but there's no time machine or no controlled experiment here. Like, we can't find out, but I'll just say that because some of us spoke out, and that's good.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm
I like
glad
your
you
hat.
said that. Dope, isn't it?
Hype levels are good though, man. And again, it's pretty straightforward E3, and there's gonna be stuff to play this year.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's about time. I'm glad you have the energy levels. A lot of people said temporary expectations, but I think Xbox understand. I think it's just a matter of time. There's so much going for Xbox that you got to be excited. Someone in chat said, Fonz, you hate gaming, so I want to reach out to you. Are you hyped for Xbox and E3? Because you always get this unfair tag, in my opinion. But because you're critical of things, and you don't swallow everything.
Look, I'm a grumpy old man. I admit it, okay? I do come down on certain games sometimes, and yeah, but I love gaming. I love this hobby. Just ask my wife. She side-eyes me all the time when I sit there too long playing games and stuff. But, I am so really like this time of year is always a great time for me, but this one I'm going into, especially the Xbox showcase, a little differently than I have in the past. And that's because we finally know that games are coming. Like it's not, there's no doubt that they have games coming because they acquired ZeniMax. And we're hearing of other acquisitions, but just ZeniMax alone is giving us more games than we've received in, ever with Xbox. So we're going to get those games. Yeah, we got to wait. But going into this E3, I know they got games coming. It's a lot better going into an E3 knowing this and just being able to relax and watch the show and have a good time. That's all I want, a good time tomorrow. That's it. Not a show like we got today with Ubisoft. I want a good time, damn it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We all do. And you all do. And someone in chat, Simon, says, Fonz talks about the shit everyone's happy to sweep under the rug when we should not be happy to do so. And
I appreciate you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We like that critical discourse. This is what it's all about. Shout out to Chris Cornell in the chat. And yeah, look at you, Colt. Look at how cute and she is sitting there quietly. Got a haircut and everything. But it's so good to have you again, brother. Honestly, it's
man,
a lot. Are you hyped? I know you're hyped. You stopped playing Mass Effect, so you're probably deflated from that. But are you hyped for E3?
Wow, that was a great experience. No, I'm really excited. Like Dealer said, like they can't hold us out anymore. And like Fawn said, they know games are coming. this year. Like, we're probably going to get something that we can play not long after E3 is over with. Plus, yeah, the games just kind of start rolling in, and some are a little smaller, but yeah, we're going to see, oh, okay. And like I keep saying, if you've got Game Pass, you'll be okay, but if not, I don't know how you can afford to play everything that Xbox is bringing to the platform. So it's finally here.
Game
Yeah,
Pass.
man.
Game Pass.
Do you not have do you not have that on your soundboard, Fonz?
No, I don't. Unfortunately.
We can create one today.
Need to make one that goes Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys just record that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Asa, I can never read with you. Inside that cold, steely demeanor is a excitable child, is what I like to think. How excited are you for E3?
So no, I was really excited, but the thing that I tune in for every year is those really cringy Ubisoft trailers where they pretend to squad up and party, and they didn't really do that today. So I'm devastated, but hopefully tomorrow will bring it.
yeah. Hopefully less cringe. But
They played a lot of guitar though.
Yeah,
They came together to play Rocksmith Plus. That was pretty cool, I guess.
I guess, I mean, it's cool if you want to learn guitar. I actually bought something like that on PC as well.
That debunks that Reset Era listing, by the way, that had
What's that?
Rocksmith Plus. That debunks that list that was being shared around this past couple days about what's supposed to be at the E3 show.
Where's that from?
It was like this in...
Yeah, where's
Trash!
Right.
yeah.
Trash ass website.
Yeah.
Dumpster.com, yeah.
Dumpster.com. You heard it here first.
So.
Oh, Dealer and I love guitars, but I mean, we play guitar, but the rest of the time we're playing video games, so.
Yeah, that's it. Kieran Rice, thank you so much for the £2 super chat with no message, but thank you so much, man. It means a lot. Yeah, look, we're all hyped, and generally we are hyped. I'm super hyped. I'm more hyped than I was last year. It's just because everything has been fermenting for so long for Xbox, and I can't wait, man. And there's now that I start to hang around with you guys, I start to hear all this little chirping and stuff, and then everyone else talking about it. And I didn't say anything, even though I was really excited to say anything. Rand said, don't say anything. Other people said, don't say anything. And then yesterday, I go on Xbox 2, and everyone is saying everything. Jeff Grubbs on Twitter saying the things I wasn't supposed to say. Cole, why can't we talk about these things? They've already talked about it. Are we allowed to talk about the things that people say? I mean, let's be honest. Let's make it very clear. This is conjecture, right? This is not confirmed.
Yeah, it's all conjecture. I mean, it depends on if you like articles written about you by websites that just like grab like anything they can hold on. They grab onto the little hairs on the back of their wrist. Like, oh, I can make an article about that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get some sort of information from someone who talks to people. Sometimes we get better information than that, but I don't know. Sometimes it's good to say, hey, this is what I think is going to happen. And maybe it's something you really heard. I don't know. We don't really love to spoil it for the developers. Like, they're excited to show their stuff for the first time. So, yeah, we're just trying to find a balance there of fun and excitement.
Yeah, exactly. And we won't spoil it for the studio that's being acquired, Avalanche, and the little heist game. So, yeah, it's kind of... but, yeah, there's a lot of excitement. And a lot of it's true, a lot of it's false. I hope Xbox have some surprises, though, and I don't like leaks being ruining the surprise, because that's the thing. That's the whole point about the show. It's the surprises, the showmanship. That's why I miss the physical E3 event, the on-stage stuff. But hopefully they can do something in a pre-recorded format. Ace Out Gamer, thanks so much for the $3 super chat. It says, "Where's the source at, guys? What did I miss? We've just begun, man." And thank you for joining us. You haven't missed anything. Kieran Rice, thank you so much for the £4 super chat. Because Ubisoft's show felt like their 2013 show on replay. They're all the same to me, I'll be honest with you, Kieran. So I just looked at that. Oh, what is this? Asa made me watch it, so I blame him.
Do you know, like, it wasn't the best show altogether, but that's I've already forgotten the name of it. What's the snowboarding game called?
Republic.
Riders Republic.
Riders.
That actually looked that had like Forza Horizon vibes to it. So that might turn out
Not
to be
really.
good, you never know.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. Not really. No. Oh, man.
Yeah,
It's definitely what they're
It'll
going
be
for.
fun,
Obviously,
though.
they've got
I
the
think
Crew 2, which is more Forza because it's cars.
Kind of
But it
like
had that-
Crew 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, overall, it was a dead show. I don't want to talk about Ubisoft's show because it's so dead. Sorry, Ubisoft, it was dead. It was like, what? Well, I guess it was good to be able to control the bad guys in Far Cry and play as Vast again. That was really cool. But anything else? And the Avatar game looked like it was promising that they showed at the end, but they didn't show any gameplay. So I'm like, yeah. But I want to talk to you guys because you guys are the RDX crew. This is the Real Deal Xbox podcast, Familia, and we need to talk about Xbox. That is something I want to really talk about as well because tomorrow I don't think I'll get. Honestly, as sad as it sounds, I don't think I'll sleep. Because I'm so hyped. It's make or break. We talk about this and enthuse about this and predict it and blah, blah. So I just want to ask you, Fons, because you're critical, level-headed,
and out of the loop as well. I don't hear as much as these other guys hear.
Yeah, no, well, apparently, I'll keep you up to speed. There are studio acquisitions in place.
I heard that.
IO Interactive and Crytek apparently.
Avalanche as well.
Avalanche, to me, I have no disclaimer. I'm just guessing this, but I'm guessing Avalanche is 99.9%.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's happening, and I think they're making Project Typhoon, which is that heist game, just based on I don't know from whom, but I think that's that. If I'm wrong, you can throw eggs at me, and I think it'll be announced at E3.
I definitely will throw eggs at you. Yeah,
do it.
Virtual eggs. So, what's your question on the show?
What are you hyped? Look,
yes, of course I'm hyped.
But Crytek, do you think that those are good fits for Xbox? Crytek to me would be huge.
I don't think there would be a bad fit necessarily for Xbox, and that's just because of what we've been hearing from the development teams that are there now at Xbox, Bethesda included. Saying that nothing's changed. They're able to do their thing, and Microsoft isn't really pushing them. And apparently, a lot of people are talking about. Ratchet and Clank wasn't, no crunch was happening there. Apparently, there's no crunch happening with games over at Microsoft as well. They're just able to do their thing there. So I don't think there's any bad fit for any of these developers. I really don't.
Good point. Yeah. I think what Crytek, correct me if I'm wrong, Dealer, what do you think about Crytek? Because for me, one thing that's missing with the Xbox is a big visual heavyweight. Off the back of Ratchet, that looks incredible. And surely Xbox needs it. Like all you guys have been talking about power, and I've been talking about power, the most powerful console. So there needs to be a game that actually looks good, no?
Or and you're choosing Crytek?
Well, because
in 2021.
Yeah.
No, I mean they've got plenty of games that look amazing. Hellblade 2's just one example, but you'll see Forza, and you'll see. I mean, they're even taking time to learn the Unreal Engine 5 for Gears 5. That stuff's going to come. Visuals are going to come, right? And even if you're really counting on Crytek now, you're not getting that game forever anyway, right?
Yeah.
So Crytek is more of a manpower thing and maybe an IP thing. So they do have the IP to Rise, and I think they should do to Rise what Assassin's Creed does. Just call it Rise, son of, Wisconsin, whatever. It's a story about a dude in Wisconsin. And he's got a, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? So that would be a cool thing, but really they need employees. That's what everyone's kind of struggling with right now. I feel like that's why they moved Coalition developers, Forza developers over to Halo to get this thing ready, and that's kind of the moral of the story for 2021 and the horrible DLC that came before the game 2020.
Yeah,
that's day one DLC.
Yeah. Day one.
Yeah. I mean, it is cool. They do got a few IP. They got some studios, but they've sold most of their stuff off already. And they were even unable to pay their employees at one point. So they're really stubborn, or they've got some secret, some secret candy over there they're not telling nobody about.
Secret candy. It might be ripe for the taking, though, for Xbox if they have the right.
There's been a rumor about Crytek all generation, since 2014. Yeah. So this is something that's been on the table. They've been struggling, and I mean, why not get more manpower? And plus, it's an overseas stuff, right? So they're not going to pay the same tax rates that they buy up these studios as they would here. That's why they like to invest in overseas studios. So I guess we'll see. Rise, son of Wisconsin. What do you guys think?
I love it. Love it.
That's it.
I think Dealer and I talked about Rise for quite a long time. I didn't actually play the game until 2017. And he was like, yeah, you got to play this game. And I thought it was really good. Dealer always had this idea that they could do so much more with the franchise. And when he says, like, Rise in a different timeline, I think of Assassin's Creed with no Animus, and I'm
Oh yes, no Animus.
Yeah. Well, then, so what would constitute a good show? Because for me, I still think Xbox has to this year show something that's visually impressive. I know you mentioned Forza Horizon, and Forza Horizon is going to be a cross-gen game.
I mean, they're going to show. I mean, cross-gen. We got to get over this cross-gen crap. Horizon Forbidden West is proof of that. That's better looking than Ratchet and Clank. God of War will look better than Horizon and Ratchet and Clank. Cross-gen, right? I mean, we've had developers on the show say this stuff. It doesn't hold back visuals, it holds back game design. And yeah, maybe they lose a few ideas here and there with the old storage, but what do you expect Sony to do, right? It's Jim Ryan. It's his turn now. He's here to dunk on you guys. I'm sorry.
He's going to dunk on me. Yep. No, but, I mean, do you really think Horizon looks better than Ratchet?
Did you have your TV on when you saw the trailer?
Yeah, it looked good.
In 4K?
See, I just think it's a different art style. I like Horizon's art style better, but I will say that
great.
I think Ratchet looks more impressive to me visually, even with the art style being cartoony.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I think one looks more realistic than the other, far more realistic.
Of course. Yeah.
And I get that art style. Sea of Thieves, for instance, as the best looking HDR and color I've seen from any game right now. And in a way, it's like that is the best looking game in that way. I get that, but Horizon, I would say, absolutely looks better in Ratchet and Clank, and I would say God of War is going to eclipse that.
I think the ray tracing in Ratchet is very impressive.
Yeah,
it's the most impressive I've seen so far with ray tracing on console, anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
I you know what I think would be great for the show tomorrow? Games. Games. Just show game after game after game. Nobody coming on the stage to play a flute or sing or do any of that nonsense. No, that's one thing I really don't like about these shows is the theatrics. I don't care for it. Like for me, I actually love the state of plays because they're just nothing but trailers, nothing but games. But there is something that's lost with those because you do want to see, like for me, I like to see a little bit of theatrics. Now, that is the CEO is coming out on stage saying, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. Xbox is this, pump up the crowd. It's like a hype man sort of thing before the show, right? I like that sort of thing, and that's what's lacking in the state of play. But, overall, just show me games. After that, after you come out and hype the crowd, show me game after game. I don't need to see, like I said, singers or any of that. I don't need to see
Reynolds.
That. Yeah, I don't need to see a Ryan Mint commercial. Yeah, I don't need that.
You maybe say Ryan Reynolds. Xbox's last two, I almost said Ryan Reynolds' last event. Xbox's last two events was just games, but they just need more gameplay. So do you guys think we're going to see more gameplay this time around? Or do you think we're still in that position where stuff isn't ready?
I think it would be ridiculous if we didn't see more gameplay. If we were still relying on CG, like these studios were acquired in 2018. I mean, we need to see something. And I'm hearing that Hellblade is going to be a no-show. That's pretty much kind of what people are expecting. But that was the first game to show off the Xbox Series X in 2019. And I know, get it, COVID and whatever, but like something. Like one thing you mentioned, Colt, that was really interesting, and I agree with you. It may be limited gameplay, but something like a flyover, or like in Fable, for instance, to show the map or the tech. That's not exactly horribly involved, but it will at least pacify us who've been waiting for something from that box, right? From the Series X.
Yeah, I just read today Chris Sawyer, who worked with Obsidian and some other big studios. He was complaining about E3 today, and he said that it takes them 1 to 3 months of like all hands on deck to build out a playable game demo to show on stage. He's like, I hate E3. It was his tweet this morning. And we know a lot of these studios are behind. PlayStation's had to push some of their games out for a little while. And if you think about them saying, all right, all hands on deck for the next 1 to 3 months, full time, we're going to be building a demo to show gameplay at E3. They have to make a do or die decision whether they're going to show gameplay or finish the game in the target time they want to finish it. That sucks. I don't like that. I don't like either of those scenarios.
Yeah, and I guess it's the nature of the beast, though. You have that E3 deadline. We look forward to it. Devs despise it because it puts added pressure on them. takes away from dev time. So that's interesting. That is interesting. But we're selfish. We want to see gameplay. And damn it, do we not deserve it in chat? Bina, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Says, do you think Microsoft incentivized EA to make Battlefield 70? I assume in 2049. They launch it in Game Pass to make it look like a better value for Game Pass. Is this thing? Do you guys think that Battlefield is going to happen in Game Pass? Because David Jaffe is still resolute that it's happening.
Not at E3. It won't be announced at E3, if at all. If they do announce it, it'll be like a week before it launches. They want all those pre-orders.
And Xbox definitely didn't say raise the price to 70. They don't even raise the price of their own games to 70.
Yeah,
for Game Pass. So yeah, that's not. They don't control third-party pricing or any of that stuff. A developer chooses what they choose, and it's on. It's kind of weird how they chose to say screw the next-gen customer when the PC version has all the same features, high resolutions, frame rates, for $10 less. So yeah, it's not good.
Let's talk about this, Dealer, because me, you, and Colt were in party chat, and we were arguing a little bit. No, you're kind of berating me over this.
Yeah, you got chokeslammed a few times. I remember.
No,
Go ahead, guys. Yeah, you're kind of excited for, right? You're excited for the new game, guys. Yes.
I'm excited for the new game. Okay, and Battlefield. And this is the problem. People said Battlefield, oh my god, doesn't have a single player campaign, but Battlefield never really had one. The first two, Battlefield 1949 and Battlefield 2. That's the core. That's the core. Deal.
I got a question for you. Yeah. Halo 1 didn't have online team like deathmatch. Should Halo 2 have it?
Yeah.
All right. Who gives a fuck?
Because Halo 2 did a good online multiplayer.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the first, second one did. From a smaller Swedish team that wasn't owned by a multi-billion-dollar company at the time. What matters is what you're getting for your money. That's all there is to it.
Even if it's a crap single player.
I like turtles.
Also, I think Dealer and I had this conversation. We were on the phone talking about this exact thing, and we were talking about how it's a totally separate team that builds the campaign and one that builds multiplayer. So you're still paying the same price. So where's the excuse?
Yeah. No, I think and I said this later on, that there is no excuse because they did introduce single player components into Battlefield, even if they were forgettable experiences, apart from maybe Bad Company 2 that had a decent campaign, a really good campaign actually. It's just that alongside the fact that there are other games in the space that inhabit this space are not charging you that much, and then Battlefield 6 or 2049 has a battle pass, and I think that adds more. And then there's 7 maps. I get it, 7 maps that are very well realized normally if you take into account Battlefield's pedigree, DICE's pedigree.
$10 a map.
$10 a map.
Well, the battle pass. I was talking to who is it? Crap, I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, they're not going to splinter the maps. They're not going to splinter the community. Apparently, the battle pass will be for like cosmetics and crap, because they don't want to have some guys have the map, and then the rest of the community not have the map. So they'll give the maps out for free. But again, past games have launched with more maps than this, and I get that they're bigger. That's fine. Yeah. But I would rather see more varied locations. Snow, jungle, some kind of beach level, and there's all kinds of different stuff. I'd like to go and see those maps and actually see maps I'm going to see most of, instead of running through a giant, maybe PUBG style map. I don't know if it's that big, but you've all played that. You don't really, what's there, right? You play Armor Kill, you run for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get sniped. That's one of the biggest Battlefield maps of all time. It didn't make the game better. So it really depends on how they execute it. I'm not saying it'll be bad or good, but that's just my opinion.
So you're telling me there's Battle Pass and then there's microtransactions as well. So
yeah,
they had a new female CEO, and I thought she was gonna come in and put some flowers in the windows and stuff, and just make the place nice again, right?
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna whip them into shape. She's like, "No, get their money, get her." She's like, she don't care. Like, she's savage. You know what I'm saying?
And again, I have to preface this by saying I don't care what you spend your money on. You can buy it if you want. Don't buy it. Don't buy it if you don't want. But for me, it's not something I would pay $70 for. I wouldn't even pay $60 for this game with 7 maps, no campaign. It's a no for me.
And there's no smart delivery.
No smart delivery, which is ridiculous. But of course, they did that on purpose because they don't want you buying last gen for 60 and.
Correct.
So anyway, it just comes down to, these publishers, they're greedy. They want more money. And they're getting it. A lot of people are willing to pay it, and it's just, console gamers are getting bent over again. That's bottom line. That's where we're getting bent over. We've got to pay for online. We've got to pay for $70 games apparently. When everybody else just doesn't.
We have to pay for upgrading our hardware. We buy a new console, we get the latest, greatest console, and we have to pay extra for the version that they deem is an extra $10. I think that's bull crap. Like Dealer said, you have a $4 million PC, you get to buy the game for cheaper. It's
and you get a next gen console tax. I don't understand how you can justify that.
Yeah, especially when the PC version gets the same thing. The PC gets the same experience.
Sure the developers
better.
Yeah, but the developers, like DICE, has to kind of like tailor make that Series X and PS5 version, whatever amount of work. Maybe it's a week of work. They just boom, $10 more. And on the PC, you have to do the tweaking yourself. And I think that's the way they look at it. But that's an archaic way of looking at things, I think.
They look at it. They look at it the only way that you can. That this audience is, if you segregate the audience for people with old consoles and people with new ones, chances are the people with new ones can afford more and spend more on gaming, which is reality. And the optics of it are terrible from our point of view. Like, why are you charging £10 extra for the same game and not doing it for PC? It's a dick move, right? From their point of view, they're charging the richer gamers more money.
Yeah. That's like Dr. Evil's view, though. It's like it's still kind of bad, right? Like, and I feel like that's all that matters when you look at their books and they're making billions of dollars on microtransactions. Digital trash you're putting on your character or whatever, and that's fine. I've been guilty of it. I'm just saying that they make so much money there, right?
Yep.
And it's not like the point is they don't need to do this on top of taking content out. So I'm a massive Battlefield fan. I got like thousands of hours in Battlefield 3 and 4, and I've been waiting on this. I really love the throwbacks to the homage to 3 and 4 in the trailer, right? All of their trailers look like that, by the way. Go watch their old ones. I mean, you're like, it looks next gen. Some of the last two. Just go back and check those out. And I will say that, definitely the kind of throwback stuff with the jet and all this stuff is cool. But I want to see that gameplay tomorrow.
So they're on the Frostbite engine, right?
Yeah.
So most likely it's going to come out with some bugs. All right, it's Frostbite.
Yes, yeah.
For me, I'm just, I just assume wait for the price drop, and by then there's probably going to be a ton of patches to fix those bugs, and it'll be ready to go by the time I want to play it. 5 months down the line. It just sucks because if it doesn't go to Game Pass, I won't play it right away. That sucks for me because I do like Battlefield as well, but I'm not paying the $70. Not for any game. No, I have to answer this question because so many people go, well, if Red Dead 3 came out tomorrow, you'd pay. No, I've already said it. I'm not buying any game at $70, no matter if I love the franchise or not. It's not a specific thing against one company or anything. It's across the board. I don't care.
And that's and I respect that. I'm buying it for £70 even though I hate it because I need it. I need that Battlefield. I've been dying for a modern day Battlefield, and I will get it. Yeah. So what kind of person am I? Someone who likes to complain but still buys these games. And that's who we are. We're the core gamers, and like Acer says, the companies know it. We will buy it no matter how much we complain. It's got 15 million.
I'm not buying it for that. No.
You know? No. Okay, you guys are stronger will than me.
No.
Oh, well, that came out left field. That just ruined my whole narrative. But okay. Well, I'll play on my own forever alone. Cole, let's just buy it. Please buy Dealer. Let's get it. Let's squad up.
One more thing. Since we're on I'm on a bigger platform here, I could say this much. For the people that like to come at me and say, because there's people out there that are going to say it, these developers work hard. They need that extra $10. It's not going to the developers, guys. They get paid for their work. And the publishers are the ones that set the price, set the date, put it out there, and reap the money from it. That's how it works. The only time it ever deviates from that is if there's bonuses, promises based on sales, but that's very rare. Very rare.
Yeah, it's true, and I think that's a silly argument, especially when others aren't doing that. Companies are jumping on that. There's competition isn't doing that. It's doing the opposite. It's giving you more options. It's making gaming available to more and more people. You telling me those developers are starving? They're not getting paid? It doesn't make sense. And Fonz, you do get it from them, but you didn't say anything wrong. But people are like, I don't get it. People are either
On that though, like they are a company, all right. So you can talk about what they need, but it's not. It's a balancing act to optimize the amount of money that they can get. Need doesn't come into it for them at all. So, and I've always thought like charging more doesn't necessarily net you more sales. And this game price point of $70, £70, whatever it is around the world, is nuts because you sell for half the price and you probably sell more than twice the copies. But I'm not making these decisions. Is what it is.
Yeah. I think some of my buddies out there in Australia were telling me they pay like $120.
Yeah, man.
For these games. And
That's
it's like, you want to charge another $10 on top of that to these guys? It's insane.
Yeah, Mads in Poland, he pays something around about 90, 95, maybe a little bit more because of the added tax and stuff. It's too much, man. This is why Game Pass is the hero in this console space for good reasons, opening up.
And let's also mention that the publisher at hand here is EA, one of the greediest and most egregious when it comes to gouging the consumer. And so it's just funny to me that Take-Two, EA, they're the ones that started this whole $70 thing. Then Sony adopted it.
Somehow, every time Activision just flies under the radar. Like, the worst
I know.
I know. You're right. You're right.
Activision, I don't understand how they get away with it. I actually don't think. Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
It's just weird that when you say those names, Activision, EA, Take-Two, and then you throw in PlayStation, like they all stand there together. Like we are the overlords of what you should pay for games. And Xbox put out a tweet today and said like something about how gaming is great. And someone goes, lower the prices then. And I'm like, well, they kind of have. They're keeping it the same. They're giving you more ways to buy.
Yeah. I know. I don't understand how Microsoft is the bad guy in this, and they're still sticking with the non-$70 thing for their first party. Well, where they have control, they don't have control over what third parties charge. I'll quickly catch up on super chats. Danny, passionate official, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Goes, great panel. I'm CYV Studio. Good to be back. Oh, welcome back, Danny. Nice change of name there, but thank you so much for your support. Kieran Rice, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Because curious to know what y'all think about Starfield, comparing it to the previous BGS games anyway. Yeah, a good segue, I guess, into Starfield. Dealer, like we were talking about this, me and Cole, I think we were on a different show, and we were saying, and you're gonna berate me for this. I know what you're like. You're Red Foreman from that 70s show, like you asswipe. But I don't think Bethesda make pretty looking games. I don't think Starfield's going to be a looker. Hope I'm wrong.
Do you think it's on a new engine like it is, or no?
No, I don't think it's on
a new. Okay, well, you're wrong.
Okay, you're wrong.
Ooh! Insider information. So
it's not. They announced it a few years ago.
Okay, not insider information. Late information.
No, but they announced Elder Scrolls a few years ago as well, and that's on their new engine. So, I mean, again, they don't want to work on that Fallout 4 engine anymore. So, I would hope that game is on a different engine. And even if you've seen Fallout 4 on PC, I mean, it's not the worst looking thing. It's just consoles and their optimization, but still, I expect that game to be a looker of some kind.
Yeah, let me know in chat if you guys think that.
When did they announce Elder Scrolls? When was that? 2019, 2018?
2018.
So 3 years ago.
19. And they said they're using an updated creation engine, so I don't know what they're updating, but the funny thing was when you say Fallout 4, Fallout 4 was using an updated version of creation that Skyrim is built on. But like, if you've got a good rig, like Fallout 4 can look really nice, but yeah, I don't know. I think it will look nice.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's like Dilla says though, like Fallout 4 with the right hardware looks nice technically if you like are actually playing it and looking around, but it's not like one of those Sony games that's cinematic and trailers really well. It's not going to have the massively motion. It's not. You're absolutely like.
No, I said what is
though, right? Yeah, that's but that's it in terms of trailering it and showing it at E3 when you got to get that slice of it. If people are trying to throw it up against what the PlayStation 5 can do, which is inevitable, that's what people are looking to Xbox to do. Like, show us something better than Horizon, show us something better than Ratchet. Starfield's a different kind of game. It's much wider in scope, so I'm not sure it's going to do the trailer quite as well, but it might be an absolutely brilliant game.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys should worry about more so the fact that Microsoft are going to launch multiple AAA games this year, and Sony haven't really.
Just real quick, Infurious One in the chat says, Fonz, if you ever paid $80 to $100 on an Ultimate Edition of a game that, you know, basically saying if I paid more for a game for an Ultimate Edition or whatnot, then I'm being a hypocrite. First of all, no, I have not. But second, if I did, I was paying for more because they add things into those things. They give you more. You might get books. You might get freaking a statue, something. You might get a helmet to put on and look stupid in. But at the end of the day, you get more for your money. You're not getting anything more for this $70. In fact, they're taking away more in this particular case. So nice try. But
I'm going to say sometimes on that, when you talk about digital premium editions, you're effectively getting a very expensive microtransaction sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of these
that's
digital
true.
editions are like,
that's why I don't pay for them. Yeah. I don't buy them. But to get back to Starfield, I think that, you know, one thing they do need to change up is, I'll say for Bethesda games, it's the animations for me. It's not necessarily the graphics. Because I think Fallout 4 looks beautiful, you know, in some cases. But the animation is a bit jank. It's a bit dated. Yeah.
I mean, so someone in chat, and I agree with him. And forgive me if I'm wrong here, dealer, because dealer is always. I mean, Acer. Matthew Esbel says, "Thank you so much for the $5 super chat." He goes, "Thank you, Sony, for normalizing these $70 games." I think the blame should be on Sony. No, aren't they the ones who set the trend or created the trend?
No, Take-Two did. Take-Two started it with the I think the NBA series, the 2K.
Apparently, Sony met with developers and they were trying to push for $80, something like that, right? Is that what you're referring to, guys?
Yeah.
And they did it with their own first party, while Microsoft, Aaron Greenberg, on their very own show, right, RDX, said that, we're going to try to keep the $60 basically. Which again, I've seen no evidence of anything, but we've also not really had any games since. So I don't think they'll raise that price though.
You don't think they
will? The $160, I think they'll leave Halo there, Forza there, and they know you're getting Game Pass anyway for a lot of people.
The one thing I'll add to the conversation in regards to Sony and that, you know, the $70 thing is that, you know, I said it back then and I stick to it. The fact that Sony is so popular, they kind of set a precedence when they did follow along and start that $70 campaign for their first party games, because then the other, you know, it just shows the others that, you know, they've opened the floodgates essentially. And, you know, there's so many defenders for Sony that, you know, they're okay with it. And some have told me straight up, I'm happy to pay more for greatness. And they gloat like that. And I'm like, it's just weird to me. It's weird to me, okay? It's weird to me that you would say something like that, but it's actually what they say. And you know, I'm just a consumer of these games. I don't care. I play where they're at, and anytime they raise the price to anything, I question it. I talk about it, and it's like these guys, they don't, and I don't get that. I don't get it.
The prices though. So I actually agree. I think Sony did kind of lead the way on this and make it possible. But then if you look at the Tim Sweeney's emails from the Epic versus Apple lawsuit, and you realize how much pressure these third parties are putting on, and they're not playing nice all the time. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on them to keep those prices going up.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point. As always, that's a good point. Yeah, because those emails there was a lot of pressure there.
It was surprising. Like the tone of them was like,
the tone is very weird. It was almost like legal, like not even legal. It was just like, yo, just do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't mess with us. We're big.
Like there's no outcome where we don't get what we want or whatever it was. They
That's
said
insane.
Using Fortnite was like,
There is no outcome where we don't get what we want is exactly what they said in that email, and that to me is ridiculous. It sounds like something Randy Pitchford would say.
Hey, somebody in the chat said it's confirmed that Elder Scrolls and Starfield will use the same old engine. I didn't hear that, but
no, they literally showed the engine. They showed Elder Scrolls off, and they said that they're working on their new engine with it.
What was it?
Yeah.
Unless something has changed, and you know, I don't see that happening.
Starfield is an overhauled creation engine. Like someone's like, I hope they're not using the creation engine. That's really old. And I was like, well, so's Unreal, but it's being updated and they're using different versions. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think
Fonz and I talked about how, or maybe it was Gaz and I talked about how Starfield has that. Dealer's gonna love this, but Starfield has in those screenshots has that blue overtone that we see in like Control and Quantum Break, which I do not like whatsoever. That artsy, like what do you call that?
That's
It's
a
like
weird
a
color.
washed out.
Yeah.
Ugh, just nasty.
Yeah.
So, and at 30, it's horrible, but Starfield will be 60 on the new console, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope so.
I
I'm
don't
really
like that
intrigued
sort
to
of
see
thing.
what Starfield will actually be like. If it's just Fallout in space, I'll be disappointed.
Well,
But
I
don't
have
think-
this prediction that Starfield is going to be. You know how Fallout is like a callback to the 40s and 50s of what the future will be like? I have a feeling that there'll be a slight overtone that Starfield is like in the 60s, our look into the future, but they also say it mixes like SpaceX with Elon Musk. So there's going to be some really like future correct things in Starfield, but it's going to have like this styling in it that is a harken back to as we were in the 60s, how we looked to the stars. And I think that mix might give it that charm because Bethesda games are normally still pretty serious in their own way and kind of black comedy, unlike Outer Worlds, which is really goofy.
Yeah. It could be.
We're going to see it though.
By the way, the engine is an updated engine. Todd Howard talked about it 6 months ago, said that Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 is an updated creation engine.
Yeah, creation engine.
Even
that's
Elder
fun.
Scrolls?
So
Yeah.
I mean that basically is saying like an updated. You got to be more specific because I mean they specifically reference that they're reusing new engine. They can't wait to work on this new engine and all this stuff. So is it like the difference between Unreal Engine 3 to 4? Is it?
Yeah,
What do you
it's
mean?
an updated engine.
Okay,
That's
so
all
it's
they're
just the
saying.
next version.
Next version, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
it's
different
updated.
engine basically. So Unreal Engine 3 to 4, 2 to 3, you would say is kind of a different engine. Only recently can you update Unreal Engine to 4 to 5, right? So doing things a little different. It's like Frostbite 1 to 2, right? It's a pretty decent leap there.
Yeah. I
So
think
it
it's
is
also. Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, and also
We'll
it's
find out
the
tomorrow,
art.
won't we?
Yeah,
we'll find out tomorrow. Oh, shit, less than 24 hours. I'm so hyped. Mr. Joanna Duck, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Hello, gentlemen. If you could make a wild E3 prediction, what game could be announced that you would never expect? Well, we can't say it if we don't expect it. But for example, Halo spin-off by Machine Game. Thank you, Joanna Duck. I actually thought about this, right? Okay, and Dealer, let's get into the source. I'm disappointed that Halo is cross-gen. I'm also disappointed that Halo is a 10-year, decade-long project. That's what it is. That means Halo will be stifled, and I'm going to get game design. It's going to be stifled for 10 years by the
In what way?
last-gen console. Because it's a cross-gen game.
In what way is it stifled though? I need
So-
specific examples.
Okay,
All right.
let me
Okay.
explain this to you, though.
I'll give you-
Guys,
I'll give you
guys,
examples.
I'll
Visuals.
explain.
Red Dead 2 on last gen looks better. Oh, no, it can't be the
No.
visuals, man. It's weird.
I'll explain this to Gaz. Yeah, it's a 10-year thing. It's a 10-year project. However, so was Destiny, and they left last-gen consoles
that ain't no
behind as
10-year
well.
project.
So
Yeah. So you don't think it's actually going to be...
You want to talk some shit?
I don't think they're going to keep, using the Xbox One, assets and stuff. Like, that's not going to happen going forward.
You're getting the PC
past 2023. Like, I
You're
think
gonna-
that they're going to move on, and the graphics will definitely, they scale anyway. I mean, most of the stuff.
graphics
So
scale.
yeah. So if you're talking
about
about
game
scope and game
Oh,
design,
what do you want them to do?
Yeah,
like,
that-
fucking fly around? I mean, what do you want?
maybe,
Why not?
maybe that'll
Why not?
happen.
Okay,
Why
okay,
not?
okay.
Yeah.
Because Master Chief's
Really
too old for
obvious
that shit.
example. Really obvious
Wasn't-
example. Battlefield 2042. Next gen versions have 128 players. Halo is a large scale game. We're not
Mhm.
going to
Yeah.
get scale.
Yeah. I mean, but if you're talking about player count, that's exactly an example of scalability, right?
If they
Yeah.
keep them
Or the-
segregated,
but-
they could do something.
If they keep
but-
the...
I mean,
keep them
that's what they will do. I mean, Battlefield's doing it. It's 64 players on Xbox One, PS4, and 128 on next gen. I mean, Ace just thank you, sir.
What's
Ooh-wee.
I do
Why are
want
we-
I
why
do
are
want
we
games to
so
push innovation,
hyped?
though.
I don't get it. There seems to
Look,
be
I get it. You want
schizophrenia
next gen
here.
only, so you feel more vindicated. But at the end of the day, we have no proof that anything's held back, and the fact that it looks a little bit better since last
Why-
year is proof in
why-
itself that visuals are
Why
not
are we
held
so
back.
excited about these CPUs that there's all these ancient CPUs go away? All these
They've been
new
working on this
SSDs
game
go
since
away.
like 2015, Gas. What do you want from them?
No, but
The
when,
teleporter?
when do you think? All this time we spent so much energy talking about the SSDs, the CPUs, these old ancient CPUs holding things back, AI,
Well, frame rates.
everything.
Yeah, I mean that didn't mean that they're magically going to have
physics.
Terminator for AI in the next game. I mean, like I said, it's been being made since 2015.
Okay, well, I understand that it's been made by 2015, but that's for another 10 years. That's if
But
on
that's
paper.
but that's what I was trying to explain to you. When they do leave last gen consoles behind, because I'm sure they will within a couple of years or so. It's going to happen. When they do that, then you're going to start to see other things open up if they choose to do so. Now, this is all developer dependent. Like these developers can choose not to have larger in scope games or do these different mechanics that only can be done on these SSD drives. Like it's all up to the developers at the end of the day. And right now, from what I see from most developers, all these games are very scalable right now. Ratchet and Clank being the exception.
Yeah. And there's a reason that we knew Gran Turismo would come to PS4. We knew that Horizon could run on PS4. We knew that Spider-Man could run on PS4. We talked about how God of War should be on PS4 because unless they're doing something crazy with the bit, like the throughput of something like an SSD, like Ratchet, then there's no reason they couldn't. But I get what you're saying. Right? Like you want to feel like they're getting the most out of the AI and all that stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, when they move up, they'll definitely get some improvements there. But at the end of the day, the game is being made when it's being made, and I can't complain about that. They can't help that. They start working on that in 2015. You know?
Okay.
I think the misconception here is a lot of...
Asa,
go ahead, Asa.
2 or 3 years down the line, they say, right, Halo Infinite, our next chapter of the story is so grand in scope, it's not going to run on the Xbox One. But Xbox One players, we still love you. You can stream it from xCloud to your Xbox One.
I'll be happy with that.
That's perfect. And the keyword is grand in scope, right? So that would be something to do with gameplay design, some kind of map system, something like that, right? So I think that software carries hardware further than people give it credit for, and every 2 years they find out a way to do something they didn't know how to do, 2 years ago. Yeah. The engines is the same reason your game from 2013 looks nothing like the one from 2019 or 2020, right? Yeah. So give these guys a little credit, a little time, and hopefully Craig has some textures on his forehead.
I'll just say that I think a lot of people are under the assumption that gamers out there anyway that that all this cross-gen stuff and this scalability that it's just all about graphics and they think since it's cross-gen it's got to be held back in the graphics department, and they don't understand how scalable graphics are. This is the one thing that your games are not going to look any worse on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. They're going to look incredible. I mean, just look at Miles Morales, for instance. That game looks jaw-droppingly beautiful on the PlayStation 5, and it's cross-gen.
Yep.
So,
and two, you got minimum spec. Most games are on PC, right? You got minimum spec on PC dictating really what's held back, and it's the reason my 2080 is not held back by 1060, right? A quad core is not held back by, or vice versa, an octa-core or something like that, depending on the game. So PC is kind of the lowest common denominator when it comes to CPUs for sure. I don't know how long it'll be before the minimum requirement on PC will be 16 threads is into. It'll be a while. So that's held back. Everything's held back right there already by that argument. This is kind of a pointless argument to have, Or an SSD. The minimum spec for a game to be an SSD on PC, they'll start hitting, but it'll be a while before that's just everywhere.
If you want to be really controversial and upset people, though, you could say that Sony don't have those same limitations.
You could, but you could also look at what they're doing with their games, and they're sending them to PC, right? So, yeah.
They're starting.
And I'm not worried about those limitations, even if they weren't worried about them. I'm not worried about it because the most beautiful games are mostly on PC anyway. We see how this stuff works. I mean, not a big deal, right? Cool.
Yeah, and the only true next generation game on the PS5 is Ratchet and Clank. So knowing what we know about hardware and software, could Ratchet and Clank run at that fidelity on an Xbox Series X?
Why not?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, definitely. Better. Yeah.
I mean, a developer confirmed that stuff could be done on Series X and S already, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think
that's
Fonz and I on Twitter.
Creaky Legs, thanks so much for the $5 super checkers. Do you think they just know less people on PC will buy it because they're more conditioned to wait for deals than console gamers are? I think there's an argument there. I think, Colt, you shake your head.
No, I mean, PC gamers aren't conditioned to wait and pay for stuff. No. PC gamers just have more options. I mean, they have all kinds of different storefronts they can buy their game. They can buy the keys at a discount price from reputable sites and non-reputable sites. They can steal the game if they'd like if they like to do the work. Yeah, so the whole notion of PC gamers standing up to the man and refusing to pay for online and $70 games, I think is kind of bullcrap. I just think that I don't think
it's simpler than
I can't
that,
imagine.
Colt. It's simpler than that. It comes down to no brick and mortar store having PC games on their shelves. They don't have the cost of putting their PC games on shelves, so they can pretty much undercut console games. Console games, they have to have shelf space for it. The physical games are out there. They're paying for costly shelf space, and if a game was to undercut that on digitally, these retailers would say, "I'm not selling your console either, or these games." And so those repercussions is what keeps our games high. That's why we never got cheaper digital games like PC does. Now, if everybody went digital, you'd probably get cheaper games in theory, but probably not, because console gamers still take it up the rear. They charge what they want. But yeah, I mean, that's in theory you could do that, but like I said, it all comes down to retail space in that regard when it comes to PC versus digital games on console.
I agree. Yeah, it does. Neil B, thank you so much for being part of the GameOnDaily Elite Familia. Thank you so much for joining us and joining the Elite family. You get access to behind the scenes footage and other videos as well that we filmed. Thank you so much, man. And it really does help us out a lot. Dan Lazaro, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. So Ratchet has 6 hours gameplay. Laughing emoji. Premium $70. Cole, you've been playing Ratchet. How are you finding it? And is it worth $70?
You can't ask me that. Everybody's answer is different. Yeah. I paid for it regardless because I was going to play it. It's really fun. It's really nice looking. It's a high quality game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. Ace has got it
gorgeous.
Up on screen. Yeah, it's a gorgeous game. It's I mean, it really shows that when Insomniac made Sunset Overdrive for Xbox, they didn't put this level of attention and care into Sunset Overdrive compared to the last Ratchet & Clank
I
in
had to run on a
2016.
potato.
Oh, there you go, Asa.
The Xbox One was a potato. We all know it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then 2 years later, they came out with Ratchet and Clank on the PS4, and it looks like 17 times better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the divide when you give your teams more money. I almost feel like Don Matrick asked Insomniac, "Hey, do us a solid, make us a game. We're good for it." I don't know what happened. I really like Sunset Overdrive, but it doesn't have this level of polish that the last Ratchet and Clank do. And then you look at them when they brought out Spider-Man, you're like, what? Same team?
Yeah. I think it speaks to maybe the synergy that Sony and Insomniac had. I think a lot of people, even Xbox fans, said, you know what, makes sense. It's probably good. The best thing, the best fit for Insomniac. Their legacy is with PlayStation. So I think I agree with you. Just maybe they tried and it just wasn't there. And Microsoft apparently approached them, and that was the precursor to them being bought out by Sony, possibly for less money. But I don't know. That was someone else talking. There was special Nick from Xbox Hero was telling me that. Dodge, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Goes, God bless you, Asa. Always summarizing, keeping my expectations in check. Very much like the Jerry Springer of the YouTube community. Hashtag final thought. I don't know what's this hashtag. This is about Asa. Thank you so much for keeping Dodge happy. Kendrick Star, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. Let's keep it 100. After 2 generations, Xbox has raised game prices from $50 to $60. It's been 2 more gens, so we can't be too mad at Sony or anyone else. Do like me, don't pre-order and wait for sales in 3 months. What do you think about that?
I think you should remember that they they raised prices a lot with DLC, microtransactions.
Yeah.
And again, the books say it all. If they need to raise it or not, it's not. It's been 10 years. Yeah, just go ahead. The 10 years, you got to raise it, right?
Yeah.
No.
Also, the market has grown exponentially.
Yeah, the market's. Yeah, what me and Fonz are talking about. It's a bigger market than ever, right? So you got more customers. You've got more sources for revenue. You've got yeah, microtransactions, so crazy, billions of dollars a year on that alone. DLC used to be
Season
microtransactions.
season passes. Yeah.
Day one editions now that come early for $100 or so. They have found ways to charge you more.
Content
so please
held
don't beg to
back.
pay more for the base game.
Also,
All of this
content held
applies to
back too.
Battlefield. Yeah, and all of that applies to Battlefield. It comes out early. You can buy, pay more. You can get a season pass. There's DLC and microtransactions.
Yeah, it's funny. People will send me 1990 cartridges saying, "Look, we paid $84 for this cartridge back in 1990." I'm like, "Yeah, the market was a lot smaller back then, and cartridges were expensive to produce on.
Yeah, that's
Like
and
to manufacture. It was expensive."
We had the publisher, big publisher of Little Giant, Mike Rose, telling you it's a piss take. He literally said that to your face. It's an absolute joke.
Yep.
He's a publisher. He's the last
heard him.
person. Yeah. So, I don't understand why.
He did make me realize something though, because he was saying one of the things that's really bad about it is charging that much up front to like mug off the people that are willing to pay early, and then tanking the prices really quickly. And actually, if you look at Sony so far this generation, they're not tanking the prices very much at all. I've been keeping like a sly eye on Demon Souls, because it's not a game I want to pay 70 quid for, but it's only gone down to about 63 quid so far. So they are they're taking the Nintendo approach on keeping those prices painful.
That is painful. Oh god, because Nintendo's price don't even shift. It's crazy. JP Dunks 4, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Because Microsoft isn't going to make Halo next gen only when it's arguably the biggest reason to subscribe to Game Pass. You'd piss off a lot of Game Pass subs. Also needs to play on low to mid tier PCs, and you are correct. The PC market is correct. I just want the definitive Battlefield and Halo experience.
Yeah. I mean, Game Pass wasn't really a thing when they started making the game, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't a thing. But he's right about the PC, but you're all right about the PC being the lowest common denominator. You can't alienate it. I still think there's a point about game design. It's interesting for Halo. There were talks about an engine where you could like travel into the other side of the planet in real time and stuff like that. That could be something that only next gen consoles could do. Apparently, this.
Chat, let us know if you want to invent any mechanics that need. That's just, we can do that. We can try to come up with cool ideas, but the problem is again, it's hard to just like really. I mean, velocity alone, memory multiplier, how they finding ways to do all this stuff. I don't know what the limitation would be. Right? I don't know how you would max that out. I have no idea.
You also don't want them to build games around a gimmick. And I know it's a bad word to say like the Rifts and Rifts Apart are a gimmick, but it's like, hey, look, we can do this now. And then they build the story around it. And like I'm following the Ratchet and Clank story, and Dr. Nefarious took the, I forgot what it's called already, the Dimensionator, and he's wreaking havoc. And I'm like, yeah, but what's the story? Like they're trying to get everything back to normal. Like what's the big like interesting story to follow? And that's not quite come in yet as I played in the first couple hours. And I feel like hey, look, we can do this with tech. Let's build it into a game. Like they do that with movies to great fail. Like hey, we can do bullet time and lean back and have bullets go over us in slow motion. And it worked for Matrix, but every other movie tried to shoehorn it in and made really box office bombs because they were just trying to capitalize on what's new and hot. Make a great game.
Yeah.
Like they talked about with Red Dead Redemption.
This is only like reinforcing what you say, because what you say is exactly right. Insomniac did come out publicly. A developer said that for that game, they were given the specs of the PlayStation 5. They had a look at the SSD. They figured out what they can do with it, and they built backwards from there. So that was like, this game is going to show what this SSD can do. It's exactly what you said. They built backwards and built around it. So.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But it's working on this title. The game's an 88, 89 meta. It looks great. It's fun. Is the story is the best? I'm not sure yet, but yeah. I just want to quickly talk because all eyes are going to be. There's one big game that everyone's going to absolutely rip apart. They're all going to gut it. Last time I had the pleasure of being on RDX the day Halo got delayed, and Dealer, I don't know if you remember, I was there and I was like, that ray tracing better be there, man. And that was half a year ago, God knows how long, almost a year ago.
Yeah,
And-
because it wasn't going to be their day one last year, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
And-
They said they're going to be delaying and bringing it later, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't even heard anything in their Halo Waypoint blogs or anything about ray tracing at all. It seems to be a glaring omission.
They're
in
waiting
those...
until they drop more details at E3, right?
Yeah, are you?
They'll start
I was
dropping
gonna ask-
information from there.
Yeah,
I
so
think
you're
anyway.
You expect there to be like ray tracing? Or how high is your confidence in 343's ability to deliver a good-looking Halo game?
Well, we already saw it, right? I just want to have the damn mountains. I like those to stay popped in. I think they'll definitely use that 12 teraflops worth of software equivalency where the ray tracing, right? There's no way they're going to leave all that on the table with the game. I don't think that it's really built for. No Halo has been the best looking game. I'll say that first and foremost. But really, I don't think it'll be. No, not even close. Even on the original Xbox, there were games that look a lot better in Halo Combat Evolved to me, like Mecha Assault and stuff like that.
Halo. I mean,
Halo 5 was not even close to the best looking.
Halo 4,
Halo 2,
Halo 4.
Halo 4. Yeah, but it came out the last year of the 360's life cycle, so yeah, it's gonna look great, right?
Look really good,
and it does. But still, yeah, I just I didn't go into Halo. Now, when I saw the pre-render stuff right at the beginning of their showcase last year, that's what we hammering on. Like, why are you showing that? This isn't even close to that. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So you're blowing your foot off with a Magnum. Like, why are you setting yourself up for this? It doesn't have to be this way. You're showing me photorealistic Halo, and then he pops out in this Roblox. You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm exaggerating, right? We do that Roblox grunt picture that people took a picture of, and we go, that's the grunt. But again, like, we're excited for the game only because they listened and they did delay it like we asked. Like, and that's a good thing, man. You only get one Master Chief. You only get one IP called Halo. So take care of it. Don't do dumb shit. Take your time and build out the story. And the graphics.
And hopefully
I feel like they're
get
trying to get away with things.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Labrie in the chat.
Yeah.
Shout out Sean.
Yeah.
Sean. They're going to just show. Who is that? I have no idea.
It's my buddy Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Beetlejuice. Yeah. Apparently they're just going to show multiplayer, Colt. And would you be happy with just a multiplayer showing, or do you think 343 are obliged to show the single player?
They showed it twice.
No.
Basically, they showed cinematics from it the first time, right? And then last year they showed what was a little bit of single player, and they got destroyed for good reason. So, I mean, they've only shown single player. This year they'll focus on 120 FPS multiplayer stuff like that. Maybe they'll give you a little hint or a little view there, guys. What do you want to see from them? I want to see some good looking stuff too.
I want to see them. I think they're under an obligation is a strong word, but I think they're almost obliged to show the single player because they have to show Halo in its best light. There's this question they've acknowledged that it's problem. They have to show the campaign because
Like show the same part again, maybe as a comparison,
maybe
or maybe just even a side by side real quick.
What if they just make a really cool trailer using Master Chief and using some gameplay elements with CGI, but showing off that, hey, look, the ray tracing is in there, the lighting is better, and it looks overall
I don't think
better.
It will be.
That's what I want to see. I want to see a better looking. I want to at least see the lighting be better, even if it's not with ray tracing. The lighting definitely was flat, and the textures lacked. So they need to just show it so that they can prove to everybody that, hey, we did make it look better.
Yeah.
They have to.
Well,
if they don't show it, it's an L, dude. It's an L.
Yeah.
They said they were going to show that they'd fix the lighting problems and the flat shading and some of those things in the Halo Waypoint articles, which I dug into pretty deeply when I was making a couple videos about it. But I haven't heard a word about ray tracing, so I think dealers with me. I don't know if there's ray tracing at launch. Not every game needs ray tracing. Like, I'm playing Ratchet & Clank on ray tracing performance mode. The lighting looks identical to me back and forth. If you can see real reflections in the water when your character runs across it for 5.5 seconds, like, is that worth it? I wonder sometimes these buzzwords we cling on to. If the game doesn't look more realistic or better with realistic lighting with ray tracing, like, if you're just getting reflections, I've seen amazing screen space reflections for a decade.
Yeah, I was the same way with Spider-Man Miles Morales. I played in performance mode without ray tracing because I didn't need the ray tracing. The SSR was fine.
They
It was
do
great.
need to implement it at least in an option because they already advertised it. They already told people it was going to have it, so they need to do it, and they will do it. It's their first party title. I don't know again day and date just because they ain't said nothing, right? Doesn't mean it's not going to be there, but if it is there, that's their first title that they would launch with ray tracing from them, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Asa, what do you think?
So there's a couple of things there. The first, they do have to show single player. They have to show it looking nice. The worst thing they can do is they look at Halo Infinite multiplayer at 120 frames per second on this 1080p 30 stream, so that it looks like Halo 5.
They're like, you're lucky it's even 60.
It'll be
Make it look
1080p
nice.
60 for the
Yeah,
stream.
it's
But
60 frames.
Yeah, why are they doing that? It's a completely separate topic, but like it's not live. It's not
Yeah.
interactive. Give me a 4K
Yeah, just
60
upload the damn thing,
pre-recording.
right?
Like, what are you doing? And everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But besides that, the ray tracing thing. So you can, like, everyone thinks of ray tracing as being reflections, and they can do that and make it so that like the Master Chief's visor is reflective, and you'll never see it outside of a cutscene, and that's dumb. But Halo's full of like plasma rifles and plasma swords, so please use it for global illumination. Like, please have those emitting light all over the place.
Yeah,
And that will make a difference.
And too, like vehicles like the Warthog, you'd see little details in the windows and stuff like, crafted again isn't really the end all be all. But again, they don't have to use that hardware for ray tracing, if they don't want to, as you guys covered here on this channel, right? So, thanks to my great question, by the way. No, that was a fantastic interview with David.
David Springate,
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I can't wait to see how they start leveraging some of this stuff, and I think that just make sure it's done. It hits all of its goals, and give fans what they deserve.
Yeah. Dan Lazard, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. He goes, if a game is less than 15 hours, it better look good. I don't know if game length is equated to visuals. You could have a thoroughly stunning experience. Returnal looked okay, it looked good, but $70 good? I don't know. I enjoyed that game, but $70.
I mean, they were going to charge you $70 for PlayStation Destruction All Stars, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It dropped first at 70, but they put it in PSN, so if you had
And they'll
PSN, it
later.
was free.
Oh, no,
So
they put the price down to like 20 quid or something for it as well, which was necessary.
They also
yeah, dude.
they had to. Yeah. Shout out to the 450 people watching the chat. Smash the like button. Let's get saucy. Pog season 1930. Thanks so much for the £5 super chat. Goes, oh, come on, this is the pop-in in Ratchet and Skank. It looks far worse than the mountain pop-in in Halo Infinite game reveal. Colt, is he right about that?
I haven't.
I don't know. You need
There
a
was
magnifier for one.
there was a controversy, or how do you say it over there? Controversy.
And a controversy.
Controversy.
Aluminium. So anyway, yeah, there was somebody was sharing around a gameplay clip of Ratchet popping in legs of like a big creature, and they're like, "Oh no, the SSD!" Ha ha ha! And Digital Foundry got into it with them today about that, and yeah, it did not go over well.
What about the
Did you guys see
glitches on
this?
Dirt 5 and stuff that people were making fun of? Did Digital Foundry jump in and say that's a glitch? Did they go run to Twitter and hammer that guy on Series X? You remember that?
No,
Yeah, when the
Series X had the glitched headlights and stuff, and everyone was hammering this stuff. Did Digital Foundry run there and say, "Shut up! It's a glitch"? Did they do that?
I don't know if
think
you
they did. They never do.
I shared that post in the chat with you guys. I don't know if you saw it, but it was weird how it was disappearing, like just like a few feet away, and then you'd walk back and it'd reappear. And I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what it has to deal with. I'm not that smart when it comes to the tech, but it looks odd. It don't look right. But John, I think Linneman of Digital Foundry said that it was probably an oversight, I believe, by the developers.
Yeah,
He said it was,
David
it
Springate said that. He had to come out and say it. David Springate, the tech director, said it's a bug. We're sorting it out.
No, I'm talking
for
about
Dirt
I'm talking
5.
about Ratchet though. I'm talking about
Ratchet.
Yeah.
He did say that, and they were really
John
aggressive
said
with that.
it was-
That's what David Dealer's right. John
Yeah, he
Linneman.
jumped in there pretty quickly and said that it was like a clipping, like the camera was trying not to obscure your view, and then he said that it looked like he went into an area where the player character is not supposed to be, so something in the level design was popping in, and it's not an SSD problem. Like,
Yeah. There's a camera panning thing. Yeah. Well,
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. Gunstar, thanks so much for the £5 super chat. Goes, will Forza Horizon 5 introduce police chases to ramp things up? Mexican police might have banned the festival. Not original, but yeah, that's a good premise for the game. They're bringing like a Need for Speed kind of thing to it. I don't think it needs to ramp things up.
Well, didn't Dealer ask for something like that?
Years ago, I was talking, I won't pull. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people did. Like, you want cops to chase you in your cool car, and I think Horizon is at the point. What are they going to do, right? With 4, it's a fantastic game, right? Speaks for itself. But what are they going to do? Add another season? Another? I mean, I don't know. So it's one of those things where they got to find a mechanic to separate it, and it's been 3 years in development. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's almost fallen. I fear that Forza Horizon will follow the kind of Ubisoft formula. Then you have all these icons in the map, and then you have to do the drift races, and you have to do the speed traps, and that's what kind of 4 was starting to feel like. I'm like, all right, I actually prefer 3 to 4, but yeah, but that's a good point. I hope they do mix it up, but I'm still going to be a Forza Horizon fan. Those games are always so well polished and well designed. Just music, the soundtrack. I can't wait. We're going to see Forza Horizon 5, guys, and I'm kind of glad. I was a bit disappointed that it's not set in Tokyo or Japan, but ultimately that's good for us because the later version will be next gen only, which is good, isn't it, Dealer? Next gen only. Am I a piece of shit for asking for next gen only? Apparently I am. But yeah,
it'll look amazing.
Yeah, it will. This will look. Forza
It's
Horizon.
scalable. There's nothing there to really hold anything
Got
back.
scales on it. Fish scales.
Yeah.
It's a racing game, damn it.
We're hearing murmurs, and they're solid leaks according to
Murmurs.
Acer.
I'm ignoring. I'm going to interrupt before you say that. Just because that last little quip that Fonz made, like, it's a racing game, damn it. Forza 8 is a racing game, and that's next gen only because they can't run those physics on the previous console. So actually, a racing game is a reasonable example of a game that needs to be next gen only.
I just got done talking to somebody playing that game, and that's actually running on Xbox One right now.
Is it? That's fair enough.
Oh, really?
So Asa, take it back, buddy. Take
Asa,
it back.
hold out your tiny little sword, Asa, and you tried to stab Fonz in the neck just now.
Yeah, but
as an example, so they
head
came
of
out and
turn
talked
10
about.
has.
Yeah, Colt's had the same thing. This is the 8 points of contact on the tires and things like that.
Yeah, well, Guerrilla Games
360
talked
hertz
about
and
Horizon
tire
Forbidden
physics.
West.
Yeah.
Not being able to fly. Developers will say things just to give that corporate speak and sound like, hey, we're going to do the next big thing on the next console, and it doesn't ever pan out.
Well, and 2, just because it's running doesn't mean it's running great, right? But again, given time, software will catch up eventually. I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting to see a racing game that wouldn't be able to run on last gen, because that would be some seriously impressive physics that would undoubtedly get less demanding in the next iteration. But I can't wait to see that game, man. It's been 2017, 2021. We won't get it till next year. And that's a long time for a motorsport game, and that's kind of my preferred branch there.
So is that confirmed that it's not going to be next gen only?
No, it's not confirmed yet. This is
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just be an article in 30 minutes.
There will be. So you think it's going to be a cross-gen game, Dealer, or is it just running on
I don't know. I know it's running on it. I don't know if it'll be a cross-gen game. I don't know if they'll ditch it, but if it's running, for one, why bother waste the time getting running? And why ditch 50 million customers when you can't sell any Xboxes because you don't have any silicon?
Got you.
I don't know, but maybe they will. It don't matter either way. The game's going to be phenomenal.
Well, I think a next-gen only thing, if it's doing things that aren't possible, and I get it, iterative things, they'll get easier, but ultimately the new hardware will do stuff. Typically, we're kind of ruined by this cross-gen notion.
Yeah.
Like, there are things...
The only thing I can think of is like physically laced smoke, like a PhysX type thing, and again, even on PC, you can turn that crap on and off.
Just the pure number of physical calculations, or how you can utilize AI. There's so many things we've talked ad nauseum about on the run-up to next gen.
They actually, I think they got rid of the AI strain on the CPU with the drivatars. That was one of the points, is to upload that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I hear you. I get it. I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of something that would cause it to be, and I just don't know off the top of my head.
So how is Xbox managing when Dealer talks about how they don't have enough silicon to make as many consoles as, because if they could make a bunch of consoles, they just keep selling, and PlayStation has the same problem. How is Xbox managing their initiative to fill their data centers with Series X hardware, but also provide Xbox Series X consoles to the masses? Like, how are they approaching that?
Prioritization, right? They'll probably get it to customers first because there are far less people worried about or even know about xCloud right now. They're just trying to get the product out there, I would say, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
That's a good
pretty
point.
much
But
the
it
entire
seems like they
reason
need
that the
that.
PlayStation 5 has sold more. Pretty much that's the reason. They're both selling out, but Xbox is splitting the silicon.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're putting
I
a
mean,
chunk of it.
I mean, they could be putting quite a nice priority on the servers, because the enterprise of the cloud infrastructure, with what Satya was talking about with Phil, like how important that is and how that's going to make a big play in the future, and how like how people can't get a card, but we're talking about minimum spec PC, where Xbox is going to be able to say, hey, you want to play all of our games, just log in on your entry-level PC on the browser at xbox.com/play, and you're there. Like, you're playing Xbox Series X level versions, high resolution 60 FPS on your browser. Like, that's a game changer. And if you're plugged into the wall on your computer, or you have good Wi-Fi, it'd be a really great experience. People are doing that with NVIDIA. Like, that's funny. What we were talking about before the show, game streaming is small now, but it has a bigger future as the infrastructure grows. It has the possibility of being more prolific than, like something like VR in the near future. So,
I mean, I played xCloud. The only reason I played Crackdown and completed it was because of xCloud, because I was on the journey home on the commute and on the training, though it was not perfect. It was at least I was kill some time, played Crackdown, and that was weird. It was weird to me. I had my Razer Jungle Cat, and then thinking about that coming, the tech is at its infancy-ish, really, isn't it? But when 5G becomes more prominent, it's huge. It's huge. I don't want to downplay it. And I think you asked me, Cole, what's more important to you? Do you think VR will be bigger or game streaming? It'll be game streaming, because VR for me is the zen of gaming in the future, the fanciful, out there sci-fi Ready Player One thing. But this thing is more,
and it plays game streaming plays all the games that you already like. Like, if I think about putting on I don't even want to talk about VR, but you think about putting on you're doing like Job Simulator and pouring Slurpees. I know that's not the essence of VR, but you're looking at 30 games versus 1,000 every time there's a game out. So
yeah, exactly.
But E3, what's going on with E3?
yeah, let's talk about E3, because we've been dominated. When we have Dealer here, we get bogged in the technicalities, and he's teaching us things. We have to soak up the knowledge, soak up the Dealer knowledge, because he's always playing NBA 2K and never accepts our party invites. ViperXD, thank you so much for the $2 Canadian super
boy.
chat. He says, looking good, Dealer. Have you lost weight? I think you have, Dealer.
I'm a skeleton, bitch.
Skeleton bitch. Thoughts. But yeah, so, okay. What's the big thing that you're expecting at Colt? Let's just get E3 hyped. You got bogged into the technicalities of it and all the stuff and Halo and all the shit. Okay, guys, listen. Don't listen to Dealer and Colt and J-Fons. They'll probably say the same thing. E3 is going to be sauce. It's going to be amazing because Xbox have been dragging us through some crap for ages. It has to be. It has to be good, right? Right.
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, who's pushing the E3 won't be good?
I know. I'm just joking.
Come on, guys. Make it good. Hey, what do you think Why do you think it's gonna be good? I mean, I think they're gonna show more games that we'll actually be able to play this year.
Yeah,
it should be cool.
I think the one thing that that we know is going to be there that I personally am most excited about, and yes, that's because I am a Bethesda fan, is Starfield. And I really think that they're going to show a little bit of gameplay, maybe tell us a little bit more on what this game is about, and that's what I'm excited for. Because already I'm in with the sci-fi single-player RPG. I'm already in for that, but I just want to know a little bit more about this game because I love Bethesda RPGs. Single-player RPGs. So Fallout 76 isn't my thing, but people always like to bring that up when they talk Bethesda and in a negative light. They always say, well, look at Fallout. Look at Fallout 76. And I'm like, yeah, but look at the rest of the Fallouts. Look at Elder Scrolls. These games are highly critically acclaimed.
Yeah,
I mean, great games.
These games are huge. I mean, like now, apparently, Elder Scrolls is bigger than Halo. It's considered bigger than Halo. That's a megaton. That's exclusive, not coming to PlayStation. Can you imagine the source?
Oh, I can imagine. Starfield.
We'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow's confirmation day, isn't it, Fonz? That Starfield.
Yes, there's confirmation day tomorrow. You're going to see a bit of that Halo. You're going to see a bit of that Starfield. You're going to get surprises. It's going to happen. There's going to be some surprises there that nobody knows about. Because I've even talked to like Jeff Grubb, and he doesn't even really know everything that's going to be there. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't. Like, he knows a little bit here and there, but it's funny that this E3, a lot of things have been kept quiet, and that's a good thing in my opinion. It's awesome.
I'm glad. I agree with you. Normally there's a ton of leaks, and I'm so glad that's not there because we get to experience the source together. Colt, you're hyped for, because we were being told by some people temporary expectations, and now it's like it's just turned on its head. How much credence do you think there is to these murmurs and rumors about the studio acquisitions? What would constitute a good E3 for you? What would just spill out? What
Gosh, you just asked me 9 questions.
Sorry, let me
jump. I know. Let me jump on one of. That's funny. We were on a show. I jumped into a show for 5 minutes, and you started running the show for the guy, like, because you can't even put down your big foam mic for 5 seconds. You're the best. Okay, so let me talk about the studio acquisitions thing because Miles Dompier, Windows Central, everybody loves this guy. He's got a real good level head on his shoulders. He said, this isn't my take, this is his, and I think it's great. He gets full credit, of course. He said that I don't know if we should expect for 1 or 2 or 3 acquisitions to be talked about at E3 when this is Xbox's opportunity to talk about Xbox plus Bethesda. And I'm kind of half and half with Miles on this. I'm like, yeah, he could be right. They might not want to talk about these other teams they're bringing in when this is their chance to talk about this is what Xbox and Bethesda are bringing to the Xbox platform. I want to kick that off to you guys, what you think about that take. Because there's a rumor that Xbox is acquiring one studio with like 3 or 4 teams, and then maybe another studio, and then another one on top of that. So that could be 5 or 6 more studios in total, or teams, rather, I guess.
Man, you're pushing 30 teams, 30 studios. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's mad. That's a game changer. Sony should be worried. But what do you think about that, Fonz?
Specifically, like, do you think they'll talk, Fonz? Do you think they're going to talk about studio acquisitions at this show? Does that fit?
What Jeff was telling me was, and I'm just going by what he's saying because I didn't really hear much about the acquisitions except from him and you guys. It doesn't sound like this is the event for that, to really announce acquisitions. If they do announce anything, maybe one will be announced now, and then they'll just like sort of roll them out as the months progress. But at this E3, I think it's really all about, hey, this is us and the entire slew of developers we've gotten from ZeniMax. And, look at what we're going to produce together. The future is bright. And I'd love that show. I'm good with that show.
It's true. But they do have to, Miles made a very good point that this is a big acquisition. You don't want to kind of overshadow it with, or just make it seem like it's, like it's out of disrespect.
That's why they could just roll it out over the coming months. They could just, make other shows based around these acquisitions and, really talk about what those developers are doing. And that is insane. But if they do any of that tomorrow, of course I'd welcome it. I wouldn't say no. Any kind of surprise like that is a good thing for Microsoft right now. We need more competition in this space. Microsoft is finally bringing competition to this space, and I freaking love it. This is why I am so high on, both Microsoft and Sony right now. Sony, are going to have the bangers. They always do. They're going to come with it. They've already started. Microsoft is finally got teams that are going to produce bangers that I personally think are bangers anyway, and I love. So I'm excited, man. I'm so excited right now.
It is.
Gaming is. I think this generation is going to be far better than last. Far better.
Way better. Way better.
Far better.
Way better. And awake Microsoft, a Microsoft that's ready to do battle, irrespective of whatever language it wants to employ about being pacifist and all that. Nah, man. I even saw Phil Spencer firing a few saucy shots, saying, "Hey, you know what? Other people make you buy the game and the hardware, and then later on put it on PC 2 years later, making you buy it again. We don't do that." When have you seen Phil Spencer fire shots like that? He loves.
Well,
he's been watching the source. I love you, Phil.
It's funny because they've put out features on the hardware that they've come out this generation that at first I thought were just buzzwords.
Yeah.
I figured all this stuff that they were coming out with, smart delivery, freaking auto HDR, all this stuff is just like whatever. It's like saying 4K all the time, But no, these are quality of life improvements for gaming. This stuff really does help. The quick resume is amazing. Like, just that alone is something that you can't get anywhere else. And let me tell you, I wish Sony had that, because that's an amazing thing to have. You don't have to hold on to one game and one save at one time. You can go and play with your buddies on something else and come back to your single-player game, and it's right there where you left off. Mass Effect, exactly. That's what I've been doing.
By the way, Godfall has just been confirmed to come to PS4 as well. I don't know if you guys knew that.
What?
But Godfall.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Are you really surprised? I mean,
No, not really. That's why I was just telling you.
it's another example of a next-gen only game, quote unquote, that they were saying looks how it does because it's the only possible next gen.
Yeah, I like to call that god
The
awful.
lies.
Yeah.
The lies.
You lied to me.
And
You
why is it
lied
coming
to
out?
me.
Why is it coming out now though? Were they working on the PlayStation 4?
Like the sales are dead on it. I guess it will revive the sales. Like nobody is buying that game anymore. It's been out for 7 months. It didn't have a great launch.
Why are they releasing it now? Why are they releasing it? Do you know why? It's because this is the first PS5 game shown off. The first ever PlayStation 5 game was Godfall. And they could not allow that to come out on the PS4 so soon after that. Well, they couldn't. You're telling me they just finished the PS4 version now?
They all said though, like as soon as that was shown, I think pretty much everyone to a person said like that could definitely run on the PlayStation 4. Like, without disrespecting the work that they've done in the visuals, there was nothing in the game that couldn't, and they've proven that it's not unexpected. So.
You can scale it. Yeah,
Thundercats.
I just didn't understand that either with that game. It was obvious that it was scalable. There was nothing mechanically in that game or in scope that showed that it couldn't be done on PlayStation 4.
No, it didn't.
Same with
really
Returnal,
like
I think.
Well, with Returnal,
Returnal,
they've got the triggers, the adaptive triggers with the shooting mechanic there. How would they deal with that?
No, I mean,
easily.
Is there any? Am I wrong? Asa, could Returnal run on PS4? Could they
You
have
could
made
make
a
a
version
version
of
of
that?
Returnal that runs on PS4. Yes, you could. I'm sure of it. It wouldn't have the same visuals. It wouldn't be
it's
identical.
such a
It wouldn't
lie.
have doors that open as quick, but it could definitely run.
Sometimes
doors
those
do open
doors don't
really
even
fast.
open at all for some people.
So up here.
That's
Shout
so
out to
funny.
Luca.
If you've played, if you've played Mass Effect, there's still a moment in Mass Effect 3, which you haven't gotten there yet. But I don't know if you remember this, but there's a door where in the Normandy where you have to get scanned to go through because it's loading the CIC, the galaxy map area.
I remember
ahead of
that.
you. And in the next gen version, you stand there for about 2 seconds while it tries to it lets that thing pass over you once, and then it lets you go through. It's like you don't need this because every loading screen is exactly 2 seconds in that game.
It's just like
been
the
PC
elevator
gamer
stuff
problem
too.
forever. It's been PC gamer problem forever because load screens were typically used like, oh, you got to feel something. Let's put instructions for how to play the game on the load screen. And if you're playing on a PC, you're like, press fuck, it's gone.
Yeah, it's the same way.
Yeah, I remember
It's the same thing with the elevators too, man. In Mass Effect, you can get in the elevator and all of a sudden it says press A if you want to skip. Like, wow, okay.
Super fast.
Shout out to Josh Curry for the
But yeah,
£20 super chat. It says Monzo Tangs, which means thanks for that. Sorry, Cole. Go ahead.
No. It's just kind of a fallacy. The next gen experience is a fallacy in the first year, I think.
I just think
do you know,
I still don't
For
think
the
Ratchet-
most part.
Sorry,
Yeah,
first-
Ratchet
the
is
first
a
year
big
is like-
exception, but
The first year though, until about a week ago, PlayStation had the first year like on lock. You could say Xbox had this great experience, but it didn't have games, and PlayStation did. And then they had that Herman Holst interview, and everything changed. We're halfway to everything changing because both Horizon and God of War got put back beyond the 1 year mark, and we've got Xbox's E3 tomorrow, where hopefully they're showing what they're gonna release year one, and suddenly those scales have tipped to be at least a lot more level.
Yeah, definitely. Herman House doing something that's uncharacteristic of Sony in terms of PR as well. They're feeling the pinch. But not enough. I don't think. Dealer, do you think Sony has got enough smoke for telling you bold-faced lies? Because I don't think it has. I think it deserves a little bit more clapping for what it did, man. That's taking the mick. This is it's a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a guy that made a video as a skeleton pastor of a radical Sony fan church, and really just calling out, hey, well, you gotta call them out for their lies, right? Like we've done for our favorite preferred box. And I don't know, what are you gonna do? What can you do? It's not much, right? I mean, these guys they didn't care about hardly anything that Sony's done over the past 6 months. Almost all of it. They didn't even care that the DualShocks using the same exact Bluetooth were not usable on some of their games. And yeah, I get that some of that controller stuff, but they allow you to deactivate that now. So who cares? Like, give you the option, right? So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you don't ask for better, you end up back with a PS3. And this thing's a little bigger than PS3. So, it's not a horrible system or anything. It's just that the guys got to step up, and you still don't even have expandable memory. None of you guys, rarely do I see anyone asking about it because it's fine.
Yeah, when is that gonna happen, man? Because you can't even.
It's running too hot. That bay gets really, really hot with that SSD in there, according to what we're hearing kind of behind the scenes. And, I guess time will tell. That could be part of the redesign, but, the ultimate part of the redesign is get the silicon smaller and cheaper right for the box, and maybe even get rid of the liquid metal. That's pretty expensive to throw in a ton of consoles. I mean, that's something that only the fans can sit there and hammer them about.
Yeah, exactly. And it has to come from the fans, and I don't know if that
we're just a bunch of X-bots.
Yeah.
Right. So
And Christopher Hart, they have a lot of great games out this generation, but that's subjective to say they have the best lineup of games, whatever. That's subjective. Because for me, it's not. I like Miles Morales. That was a fun little 6-hour romp. But everything else, besides Ratchet and Clank, I do want to play that, but I'm waiting for the price drop. Besides that, though, nothing else.
It's not
for me.
subjective, though.
For me.
For all that's good between the two of them, if you're talking about who's released the better games, they're 99% the same, and Sony have released about 3 more. So even if you're not that keen on them, it's not really subjective. They have had a stronger launch 6 months. I just expect.
If you're talking about stronger than Xbox, but he's making a blanket statement as if they've had one of the strongest launches ever, and I don't agree.
And Sony's global
You guys are
publishing,
missing-
right? Sony they partnered with the better third-party teams, the guys behind Returnal, right? The guys behind Demon Souls, right? And Miles Morales is their title, of course. But the year's not over for one, so you're going to be getting some good games. I think Xbox will have the better lineup by the end of this year, perhaps. We'll see. But Microsoft need to invest their money, not little games or smaller games. Put it together and invest in maybe something like Sony have done, and they put a little bit more money towards maybe bigger projects, right? Whereas the medium and stuff like that. I guess too, it's all about what you care about, Christopher Hart. So if you want all of your games to benefit in a lot of different ways, and that's your ecosystem, no one really gives a shit either way.
Yeah, and
so you know.
And objectively, nobody, including myself, is saying that it's not a good launch for Sony at all. No, it is a solid launch for Sony, but for me personally, the games really don't speak to me. Demon Souls.
Well, if the games sucked or the same games were crap, or they're great, either or, it doesn't change that they lied about how they were approaching cross-gen, and they. Oh,
of course.
I mean, they obviously wanted people to buy the PS5, but part of that sale was you're going to get a unique, special experience on the PS5, and then they went releasing on PS4.
Well,
that's the whole point of the comment.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have anything to do with if the games are good or bad.
I mean, they knew they were lying, and they knew it was going to come out. To me, I'm still bewildered by the whole notion that this has happened.
What's crazy to me is how some people actually believe that they just suddenly changed their mind, and they decided, hey, we're going to put it on the PlayStation 4 with God of War.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Spider-Man was announced. Spider-Man was ported to the PS4 in a month when they announced it. When a month before it came out, right? Yeah. Obviously, they've already said that. Who was that? The executive said those things were built with that in mind, right? So
of course,
or whatever, they don't need to exceed it. So yeah, it's not a big deal. Just I think people are focusing too much on cross-gen without understanding, how things are kind of carrying over for the first time ever, the way they are with the same machine language like they are, and how PC is really going to. I mean, Xbox games, you're getting PC features there. They're trying to make it easy as possible to build one version and get it running on multiple platforms. I mean.
Yeah.
Who cares? The game is going to look amazing, and as we go, it's going to get more and more beautiful. So.
Yeah, definitely. Although, like Colt Eastwood, absolutely.
Colt, are you going to talk today?
Yeah, Colt's been.
What?
He's looking cutie in the corner, but
look at him leaning back,
relaxing and she. No Ducks Given doesn't agree with you, dealer. He says that Forza talk is crap. Jack calls would fry, according to your insider, is wrong. Apparently, I don't know what to say.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't
something about French fries or something.
The Jag calls would fry. Stefan Box, thank you so much for the super chat though. Stefan Boxy of the $5 super chat says, if Gears 5 was a Series X launch and Outer Worlds 2019 was an exclusive, the convo would be different.
Why? Why should we wait to play Gears 5 like a whole extra year just to say we had a great Series X lineup? Like, why? I mean, I can see saying that PlayStation could have held. Sorry about my stream. I don't know why. I'm using my AOL disk for internet today. But anyway, I guess you could say, why not push Ghost of Tsushima for the launch of the PS5? But then they had a couple of games to push for the lineup, so they were fine for the launch. It was Xbox who needed to get, like Dealer said, they shouldn't have worked with Bloober for an exclusive third-party game. They should have worked with bigger studios. But part of me feels like they just threw out what they had because they knew other stuff was coming. But the wait sucks.
Yeah,
wait really sucks. I've never run out of things to play. For real, I've never run out of games to play. But I do want that great experience from Xbox. And we're going to start seeing it this year and next year.
And the thing is, the future is so bright for Xbox, because you talk about the lineup of games, and Christopher Hart was there saying that the lineup is good, but if you look at the future for Xbox, you just read these names are like some insane. These are confirmed games. New Elder Scrolls, it's just crazy. Perfect Dark used to be on like the fancy wish list of fanciful games that like, okay, it's not happening. It's happening. It's maybe that's insane.
Fable.
Fable. We might actually see a little bit of Fable. Do you think we'll see Fable at E3?
Hold on a second, guys. JV says, here comes the damage control. Hey, JV, plug in your little Logitech computer speakers and listen to what we're saying. We've been talking about how we've had to wait for games. Here's what Gaz didn't get the chance to say, but he's about to say. I'll say it for him. PlayStation has 11 studios. 5 of those are AAA. Xbox will have probably 29 studios cranking out games with amazing talent several times a year. Plus, they have global publishing. So, if you want to know what's coming, Xbox has so many games. You've got all the Bethesda suite. You've got some of the best games studios in the industry with Turn 10, Playground with 2 teams. Hopefully, 343 lands Halo Infinite. Finishes off. What else? There's like a whole bunch of studios that are creating games. If you haven't been paying attention, Xbox sat there with their pockets pulled out with no money to do anything from about 2016, actually from 2013. They had some stuff carrying over. So for much of the Xbox One generation, they were told, no, you can't have any money. We don't know if we want to even keep funding the Xbox platform. And while little trolls laughed and said, PlayStation upped the price of your games. Xbox or PlayStation said, you have to pay $70 for games because we're going to lead how pricing goes for gaming with some of the other big, like, mustache twirling villains in the publishing game industry. So just pay attention. Like, Xbox is pretty much cemented that the console war is completely over. There's no such thing as a console war where they're going to be everywhere where the rest of the planet can play. PlayStation creates this great experience. They create this honed experience on one platform. But guess what? As Deal will tell you a million times, they're moving to PC. They're moving to mobile phones, just like Microsoft
TVs.
and Xbox are. And TVs.
Fatality.
It's.
I mean, the level of
That was perfect. That has to be.
Fonz is so
Someone
awesome.
clip
The
that.
level of the type of person who just uses words like damage control, that just uses like very little sliver of their brain to try and make an argument. Like, pay attention. The gaming industry is much bigger than you and your
Yes.
Twitter account or whatever you're doing. It's like, pay attention, man. Everything's changing, and it is actually better for everybody, even on PlayStation, because you're gonna get to choose to play where you want to play and spend your money the way you want to spend.
And I see a lot of people that love to throw Game Pass out there and, insult it or say, you use Game Pass as an excuse for this or that. And it's like, you guys that really go after Game Pass, you're really threatened by Game Pass. And it's funny to me because in the end, I think you really want a Game Pass style service, something that would have day and date over there on Sony's side. Because I know as a gamer, I would love that. I would love that PS Now turn into a day and date service for Sony as well. I wouldn't have to pay the $70 games. I'd be swimming in greatness and not having to pay for each one. I would love it. And you're a liar if you say you wouldn't like that at all. You really are.
Instead of like hijacking movements like Forever Physical to make sure that it's basically cancel Game Pass, then don't just ask for better from Sony. It's silly. I really have to reprimand some of the core fanboys in forums like that do that. Thank you so much for over the 500 people watching us. Smash that like button if you have, and I hope you enjoyed that. Fatality. That was amazing. Truett is a pimp. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, $2 super chat. Sony paid for a timed exclusive on themselves. Yeah, I guess. So they've got that L'Oreal syndrome because they think they're worth it, and they are, I guess, but not.
L'Oreal.
Yeah, they've got that complex, haven't they? But I'm sorry, I can't wait to go back and watch that. Oh, well done, Cole. That was well said. Well said. We've been literally, I don't understand. People have selective hearing. We are literally raking Xbox through the coals.
We have been.
And,
Yep.
Yeah, and being critical the night before E3, all right? We're saying, look, this is what they need to do. This is not good enough. Dealers being critical. Dealers saying stuff about cross-gen. That's not a narrative that you could easily say, well, you guys lied and here it is, cross-gen is a joke. But he's been saying this from day one. I don't know what people have selective hearing. I can't see other communities doing that, being very critical, being excited. And don't get annoyed by our excitement, because tech's gonna give it to you. Yes. But I went past the 2-hour mark, gents. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we? I'm just hyped for E3. I just want to go into cryostasis and wake up tomorrow. But is there anything else you want to talk about? But there are a couple of things. Okay. Actually, before we go, we have to talk about this. Is the E3 show. We have to talk about this. Fable, you don't think it's gonna come? Don't think Fable's gonna come E3?
No. I don't know. I don't know. But personally, I don't think it's going to be there.
Don't think Fable's going to be there. Oh, okay.
I don't think so either.
Bob, so no Perfect Dark then, because that's even more unlikely.
No, I don't think.
But that guy's kid was playing something. It's just so surely playable on something.
I've heard there's playable builds of games long before they are ready to show playable game demos. So
yeah. Okay. Well,
That's,
hey, dealer. Oh, sorry. Asa.
No, I was just going to say, I've said, I'm not sure they can do it, but I'm sure they want to show either Avowed or Fable, because with Avowed and Fable and Elder Scrolls 6, they've got 3 open-world, Western-styled RPGs, and they're all going to come like buses if they don't try and get something shown. So
yeah,
I'm sure they want to. Whether they can is a different question. But.
Avowed is one of those games that I keep hearing contradictory things. Some people are telling me yes, it could be there. Others are saying no, they don't think it'll be there. For me, I just hope it's there. Like Avowed is one of those games that I'm really excited about. Again, Obsidian is another team that I really love. It's one of Xbox's best teams in my opinion. I do like Outer Worlds, so you know, I like their RPGs.
Yeah, and absolutely. Well, I guess I really want to see something a little bit saucy, because then it just sounds like, if I'm correct, we're going to get Project Typhoon, we're going to get Halo Infinite, which could be epic in its own right. We're going to get Forza Horizon 5. Again, it's more Halo and Forza. We could get Starfield. That's
yeah,
big.
and don't underestimate Starfield. I'm telling you, this could be the show stealer. It really could.
Yeah, I'm not underestimating.
And I'm expecting that game to show well. And if it does, hats off to Microsoft. That's amazing that they got that, you know?
And if it's exclusive...
Oh, it's exclusive, baby.
But if when it's confirmed, tomorrow we get confirmation.
You know what you're going to hear?
Exclusive.
That's what you're going to hear.
Exclusive.
Huh?
It was confirmed when Phil sat down and said, like, Bethesda's games are exclusive, like, or only where Game Pass is. Like, it's confirmed.
But pre-contractual obligations, maybe contractual obligations might spill out.
There is no contractual obligations. Jim Ryan said, "Hey, Xbox, where's Starfield going?"
Oh, really? Is that what? Did he tweet?
Well, yeah, actually, he asked, but he asked, the media asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, we'd like to know where Starfield's going to be as well." He doesn't know. They tried to get it. They tried to get a deal, and Jim Ryan slid like a little banknote across the table to Bethesda, and Todd Howard goes. And then over here comes one from Phil that said 7.5 billion. He goes, and he just shoot up the note.
Which is remarkably similar to my Source video that's coming.
Again, Christopher Hart, you're talking about Xbox and, you know, getting rid of the need for a console when they're actually already making new consoles. So for the future.
We had that
somebody in the chat
guy as well, didn't they? That guy in IGN copped a lot of flack for that. Sorry.
Oh yeah. We were talking about this. The IGN guy, they redacted the video. Because he's like, apparently Microsoft's out of the console business. Like that. He's got a PlayStation gold
pendant
necklace on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like he's got the PlayStation cross. But yeah, that was funny. And IGN pulled it and apologized. The laugh. IGN's good for that. Like when they get called out, they quickly pull that. But crap, you made me forget what else I was going to say.
I'm sorry, Cole.
Oh, somebody in the chat was saying... There you go. Somebody in the chat was saying that Xbox continues to nullify the need for a console.
Yeah.
Let me help you out. You don't need anything when it comes to gaming. You want something. And if you want a console, you'll buy an Xbox console. If you don't want to buy a console, you'll play on PC or you'll play on a streaming device or whatever. Yeah. Like, there's no nullifying. It's simple. Gone.
All you got to do is say, hey, look, Sony are literally putting their games on PC. They had the job listings up for PS Now years ago saying they're sending the games to every device. They said it themselves. They're preparing for a world without a console.
It's like,
just look into anything, really. It's not that hard. They got the same business model. They even signed a memorandum with Microsoft to help them. They're just a couple years behind.
It's not just that. It's you got to look at it this way. If there's demand for it, they will build it. That's the bottom line. That's how it works.
Yeah, exactly, man. They will. Like, the strats, like, what excuses are people going to run out? When the games do come in, and look at these games, Avowed, Fable, Perfect Dark. What the hell, man? Like, these are insane games.
I'll tell you this much. I think, you know, and this is not at all saying you got to wait this long for games, but I'm telling you, around 2023, there's going to be a slew of games hitting Game Pass day one, back to back to back to back. And it's going to be like, you know, somebody said it the other day. They said something on a podcast I heard. They said that they'll have journalists complaining, is there too many games on Xbox?
Yeah.
Because it'll get to that point. It'll get to that point.
It will.
And it's not something that's like, you know, fanboyish to say it at all, because just look at the amount of studios that they've got and what they're working on now. These games will be coming out soon, and when they do, it's all around the same time, and there's just going to be so many games.
Absolutely.
Hey, Isaiah, there's like 6 games coming to Xbox exclusively this year. Like, I don't know how you didn't see that. And when Fawn's talking about 2023, 2023 is talking about the biggest games that Xbox started building 5 years ago.
Perfect Dark.
And like we keep saying, we don't
Fable.
we don't want Xbox
Valve.
to crap out a game in 2 years and say, hey, you know, hurry up, just
Hell
get something
no.
out. I don't want crap like that. I want the 5-year developed great games they started in 2018.
Yep.
So yeah.
The Sony do
good
that.
games.
They spend their time in gestating and building.
And I
these
love
games.
them for it. I love Sony games. They're my favorite. I'm no secret. I say that all the time. I love Sony experiences. I want some of that on Xbox, damn it. Hell, dealers even said he wants some of that on Xbox. The thing is, at the end of the day, we're going to get great experiences. I already know this now because for me, Bethesda is a great developer. I like their games. I know I'm going to get great experiences from them. And I know Obsidian, same thing. Avowed is going to be there around 2022 probably. And I can't wait. I can't wait for these games. And when they start dropping, then what are the excuses going to be for some of these people?
Absolutely. This is what I'm trying to understand. Tomorrow is going to be a lesson for you anyway. Like, really, if the list doesn't make anything to you, doesn't do the dent to you, then
It's just about time to just stop being an idiot fanboy on either side, in my opinion.
yeah. And just
It's
enjoy
about
it.
time. Just enjoy games for what they are. This hobby is great. These companies are both competing. This is what you should want. You should never want Microsoft to fail or laugh at people for wanting
Absolutely.
Microsoft to succeed. You're an idiot if you think that way because you need this. We need this as gamers. It's the bottom line. You're an idiot if you're a loyal fanboy to one console. You're an idiot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For all the reasons you named. If you're a PlayStation fan or fanboy, you will get better experiences on PlayStation because of Microsoft doing well.
Yep.
Because that's what competition does.
And
So
likewise, vice versa.
Yeah.
Sony
vice
does
versa.
well. Sony pushes Microsoft. Microsoft pushes Sony. Hell, Nintendo jumps into the game sometimes, and pushes the needle. It happens every once in a while, but
Nintendo defines it. Nintendo sets the trends, everyone follows them.
yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo.
They're a different breed.
They're a different breed. They really are. I think people need to. We embrace the tribalism to the extent that it's fun, as in like your sports teams, and you talk about it. That's what the source is.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's
fun.
fine. It's
That's
I can appreciate some of it. It's just when people get really in their feelings over it, it's funny to me because it's like it's plastic, brother. This is a plastic device that you are holding up and pretending like they could do no wrong. These corporations, it's plastic in front of a corporation behind it. And it's just sad that you're gonna, champion things like $70 gaming and things like this and be happy about it. Not even just accepting it, but being happy that you're being overcharged as a consumer is really weird to me. It's
and then
really
devoting
weird.
so much energy to do the counter and to cancel Game Pass and stuff like that. That's just sort of next. You need to seek some professional help if that's for you. Deron James, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. That's a great show, guys. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Sir Monte Carlo, thank you so much, good friend. $5 Australian super chat. Much love, Gaz. Great show, you. And you can guess what the C star is, but he's Australian. They say it as a term of endearment before you vilify him. Shabs Inevitable with a £5 super chat says, my favorite people in a single stream. You guys are truly inspirational. I'm thinking of starting my own channel soon. Wish me luck. Wish you all the best with that, Shabs. GameOnDaily.com is designed for content creators who want to start. If you're a reviewer or podcaster, we learn from the best. These gents here in chat. So I'm sure they can also guide you. They're a shining beacon and light to everyone. We learn from the best of the best. So enjoy the gaming, guys.
Enjoy it.
If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I think we've
Enjoy tomorrow. It's going to be freaking awesome, dude. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing our show and everything, RDX after show. That's going to be fun.
Yep.
RDX after show is going to be pretty.
Yep.
Right after the Microsoft
We're gonna
Bethesda conference.
It's literally right after, right?
we're gonna call it the RDX
It'll
after
end, and then
hours.
it'll be like 10, 20 minutes after by the time we get launched and D-Bash, you hit the button and whatnot. So, it should be fun, and join us. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Tell me though, so obviously Microsoft Bethesda is a big one, and we've seen podcasts and chat, and everyone's been talking about it and what's going to happen and what's not going to happen, and that's cool. It's going to be a great show. But we've also got Square Enix, we've got Capcom, we've got Bandai, Namco. Those three, I want to know what you four are expecting from them. What's Eidos Montreal's new game? What's going on? What are the big ones? I'll go Fonz.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to show. Will Square ever announce Final Fantasy Remake on the Xbox? That's what I want to know, but probably not. I think they've scooped that one for forever over on Sony's side. So yeah, dealer, no hot tub action for me over on the Microsoft side.
What about you? Are you hyped about anything, Colt? From those companies, Capcom, Square Enix. I know you said Final Fantasy. You don't think it'll ever.
Let me just to help out a little bit and smooth this one, because I don't think people have been necessarily paying attention to what third parties are doing. So Square Enix have confirmed that at their show they've got Eidos Montreal, so that's the studio behind Eidos, I should say. So the studio behind Deus Ex are announcing a new project. They've got Life is Strange Remastered, and they've got Marvel's Wakanda expansion. And there's some other stuff. I don't really know what's going on at Bandai Namco or Capcom. Capcom have said they're doing some Monster Hunter and some Resident Evil stuff, but anything on those lines, just outside of the Xbox show, there's got to be something good at E3, right? Final Fantasy, Souls-like, Final Fantasy Origins, rumors of that one.
None of this is getting me hard. It's not getting me erect, and you're killing.
Yes.
I meant mentally. I meant mentally erect.
Sure.
Like, okay, what? Dino Crisis. You tell me Capcom going to end up drop the balls,
Dino Crisis.
The remake
Really?
Dino Crisis. Yeah, Dino Crisis is sick. What about Power Stone? What's happening with Power Stone? Bring that back. Come on, man.
Bring back Banjo.
You hate Banjo. Banjo's not coming back. Everyone's just like, we'll get Super Lucky Tail 3 or whatever the hell before we get Banjo. Yeah, no, Asa, I think
everybody's just really quiet right now when it comes to what's going to happen on these shows. I mean, look at today with Ubisoft. We didn't know what they were going to show, and when they did show what they showed, it was boring.
Crap. Yeah, I'm sorry. John Mitchell, thanks so much for the $10 super chat. John, damn Colt, the sauce, preach it. Colt has been anointed, baptized in the sauce. He's that sounds so weird.
Gaz personally baptized him.
Oh yes. Now he's pregnant. Yeah, lady.
What? I don't think Cole heard that, but
yeah.
I'm looking for lightning to strike me at any moment. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
get hyped for E3. But tomorrow, guys, RDX is going to be off.
Let me say. I think there's a couple different sides going on. I think there's Xbox fans that are really excited. I think there's a small section of Xbox fans who are a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Maybe we're feeling a little bit of both. Like if Xbox doesn't deliver, it's going to be really rough. Mm-hmm. I think there are as a small section of gamers who just want to see Xbox do well, that maybe that's not their favorite platform. But I think there's also a group of people who are hoping that Xbox doesn't deliver tomorrow. So it's I think a lot of people have been really on edge and touchy and trolly. Like, you have a couple people. The chat was amazing. Chat's amazing. Like just a couple people who come in with laughing, crying emojis as wearing it as a mask to cover that they're legitimately threatened that Xbox is going to step up to the plate and bring a really great experience to their platform like they've never done before. And I think that if you're a true gaming fan, like I always bring this up, like I know the Nintendo platform is amazing. I don't care about playing on that platform. I don't even get excited about their games. I don't really play them. I'm just fine without it, but I'll never go and grief that, like, oh, you only play kid games, or oh, who likes Zelda. I would never do that because I know those people love those games so much. I would never even go in that realm. That doesn't even come to any part of. I just troll Banjo fans. That's just my thing. But yeah, I just don't get it that someone would come into another chat and put laughing, crying emojis, just to wear that mask. The dealer and I always talk about how they wear it over their face to cover their tears, because if you're paying attention, and some of them are, they pretend like they don't. Like Xbox is doing some really great things, and Microsoft is basically, Satya said, "I've got the checkbook out. Like we're not messing around."
That's a big
And
statement.
we want you to have money, and we want you to do things. We're already seeing that you're making money that kicks back into Microsoft, so you have my blessing. So great things coming to Xbox. It's about dang time. I almost swore there. It's about dang time, and yeah, they need to bring a lot of games. And everyone who's saying, where are the games? They started building them in 2018, just where everybody else's games are. In development, getting ready to launch a show.
Yeah, and get ready. Because those big names, they scare you, and they should. Because it's saucy. That's it. Well said, Cole. It's coming. It's coming. Whether or not Microsoft delivers tomorrow, we know those games are coming. We have to make sure that those are good. I'd rather a crap E3 show and great games. But I have hope. E3 is going to be lit tomorrow.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Make
It
sure,
really
guys,
will.
to check it out. RDX podcast is going to be off the chain. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. Right off the back after E3. It's going to be mad. And if you have not died after the RDX chat, you can come check us out. We're doing an 11 p.m. show every night, 11 p.m. UK time. So way past everything is done. RDX is done. Because if RDX is running at the same time as us, there'll be 3 people watching us. So we're doing it late, 11 p.m. our time. So you guys can come join us. You can set the reminder. The events have already been set up. So tomorrow, 11 p.m., Monday and Tuesday. After every show. E3 coverage. I'm not going to get any sleep. But neither are you, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do that, let me just get the gents to do their outros. Dealer, it's been too long. I know you've been a little bit quiet today. But I hope
Let you start. What are you talking about?
I hope you
I've been
enjoyed
letting
the
everybody
show.
talk.
I know you have. But I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often enough. But
Well, you only gave me 2 passes, guys. Gave me an extra one here. I'm just
Mr.
kidding.
Brad
I'm just kidding.
Ward fight. Where's that Mr. Brad Ward fight? I appreciate.
He's
the
like, you
love.
misquoted me.
Brad, I love the fact that you're like a stenographer who will quote other random people on the, but don't take it out of context because it makes things awkward, like party chat or something. Yeah, I love you, Dealer. Dealer, I love you.
Yeah. It was a good show and a lot of passionate opinions. And I'm just here for Asa.
I think we all are. I'm here for Asa too.
Okay, so it doesn't hurt. But,
He's hiding now.
But yeah, Dealer, thank you so much for joining us, man. Always. And wish you the best. RDX is going to be off the chain tomorrow. I'm hyped.
Will be.
We'll be live just after the showcase, and we may or may not have special treats for Gaz.
Yay. Yeah, when I went back on RDX, Dealer.
Yeah.
But
do
never mind.
it fun.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man. But yeah, and also Fonz. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It's always a pleasure having you on, and you, like us, are flourishing as well and spreading your wings.
Trying to, sir. Yeah.
Tell
So
me, Fonz.
tomorrow's going to be a long day for me. I've got actually in the morning I'm doing a live reaction with the Iron Lords for the show.
Sick. Great
Then right
show.
after that, going right to RDX. Then right after that, I'm going to right to my show because my show is every Sunday. And yeah, so I got the Randall Thor tomorrow on my show.
Oh,
To
nice.
talk about. Yeah.
The
Talk
you
about
have
what's
to-
going on. It's not really going to be a regular format for me tomorrow. No trivia, none of that. It's just going to be all about the Xbox presentation and what he feels about it and what I feel about it and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, hit the man in a million button. Come on.
Oh, you want the man with a million?
The man
So
with
here,
the
right now.
million.
There it is.
There you go.
It's like a thought. Yeah. It's catharsis at this point.
Yeah. Somebody asked for that earlier too, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna hit the man with a million while we're talking.
Yeah. No, but that was the time to do it. But yeah, looking forward to it, and looking forward to the Fonz Really Gaming Show with Rand El Falafel. It's going to be
Yep, that's Games Talk Live tomorrow.
GameStop Live. It's mad. Iron Lords, RDX, and that. Well, good luck.
Thank you, brother. Good luck to you guys too tomorrow night on your show and the next 3 nights.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're-
Yeah, you're
and
not
all of you-
sleeping at all.
We're not. And you're welcome to join us if you have the energy, but I'm pretty sure you won't.
Oh, I'm gonna be dead tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet you will. I bet you will. And last but
Fonz and I
certainly,
are going to meet up at IHOP before this all kicks off.
There you go.
Oh man. I
No,
can't wait till we meet.
In and out.
In and out burger.
In and out, yeah. In and out again.
Love that. Good taste. But yeah, Cole. Yeah, you're gonna be creating saucy memes as well. You're gonna be an RDX tomorrow as well. creating fleas,
Yes.
and then
Yeah, right after the show.
gonna be mad, and then you've got your own show.
That will be a big show right after for RDX. And then my show is Monday night, the next day. And I took 2 days off of work. I took Monday and Tuesday off.
Yeah,
Because I just don't... it's just too much stuff.
Yeah.
Really to worry about. Yeah, so it'll be exciting. I am super nervous though. I always get nervous because there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of fun to have to watch the show and take it all in, take notes, and we create our content and the shows that we're doing. Like it makes me nervous. It's a lot of work. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, you've been smashing it with XNC. Because RDX has just been killing it. It's gonna be mad. And I hear. Maybe you may have incredible guests as always on Monday. I don't know who they are. We'll find out who those are. But yours smash it. But I will let you surprise that. I don't know. I don't know who that is. But the inside is now telling me. You hope so. This is a part of the podcasting. You never know if someone's going to turn up or not, who the guest is.
You never know when someone's going to get back to you. Or we're trying to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Asa, you have a message for all our fans. Oh, we got new merch. Called
Nice.
Control. Boom. Asa's going to bring it up.
No, I've lost it. I forgot we were showing that. There we go. There's a couple of new bits of merch on the merch store. If you like the looks of those, aren't they pretty? There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. It's called the Control T. It's for the discerning gamer who play games on all platforms. You see, there's a mouse there, dealer. I know how much you hate me for playing on PC, but there it is.
Is that Joy-Con, sir?
Yeah, it's a Joy-Con, yeah.
Oof.
No.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Love it.
Yeah, and yeah, gents, it's so close.
This was fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, thank you, lovely, all of you guys who have supported us, take us into the community, because it's like coming full circle for us. And on the eve of E3, it's gonna be mad. Thank you so much, everyone. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed it. Share this out, and we will see you very, very shortly tomorrow after E3, where we find out Xbox, did it do it? Did it deliver? Let's see.
It did.
So Gaz thinks that's over. It's not. He almost invited me to talk, so I'm going to anyway. Sorry, Gaz. Have a great E3, everyone. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever you like. Obviously, it's better for Xbox fans right now. They're doing more, but enjoy the show. Hope you all get great things that you want to see, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.